Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Squid School. I am Jem. Restream chat is actually on OBS, and I forgot that I forgot to check for it. So we're in really good shape today. We've got it together. Got a first, second, and third already called. Hi there, Jamie and Mr. Malix. And J4KO. Owen was not third, actually. Owen was fourth. So, apologies for that discovery. Chibi says, Gem. Hello, Chibi. You're just doing that Squid Beats song. Gotcha. That is a good song. I'm a fan. And hello, Quartznot. It's a bunch of people. It's a good time for you to stream when I'm about to have the tryout of my life. Good luck. Good luck. Fourth. There we go. Got the correction in there. Hello, everyone. So we have a double feature VOD review for you guys today. We've got LilyPad, and Mr. Malix. Mr. Malix is here. We've seen him in chat already. Lily will not be available. They have work up until the point that the stream would be over, which is unfortunate, but they'll still be able to watch our recordings. So I'm gonna get things booted up here with League, and we will have a we'll have our pairing back from the recent how to get or the recent Weapons to X rank video. We've got our frog friend with the strawberry on his head. And then we've got a couple of cows who might be gay or might just be good friends. But there is a rainbow in the background. So, who knows? I am going to get the password put in. And that is why our friends are here guarding it. And then I will be sending that password to Mr. Malix. And then Devi and Jamie, if you two are both here, you guys are welcome to join us. Hi there, Tao. Profresher, I like it, I like it. All right. Thank you to our animal friends. Okay. So I see Jamie there in the chat. I trust that Jamie will be available here. I will not be playing the dualies here. Is there anything I want to grind gear on? I might as well be grinding gear. No reason not to. Grab that, and we'll grab this. So, do not take my gear build as something you should actually run on the K-Shot. I have not looked at it at all. Yeah, I haven't seen Devi poke in here yet, so might need to grab one more person. And so everyone is, Jamie and Mr. Malix are welcome to join the VC from Waiting Room. Here's Mr. Malix. Hello, Mr. Malix.
Hello.
So we've got Mr. Malix now, and then, yeah, Chibi, feel free to hop in. That would be a good mix of players then. And Chibi, I think you know our password, but I can DM it to you if you need me to. And both Jamie and Chibi, you are welcome to hop into the voice chat. Hi, Annie, and hi, Luna. Welcome, guys. Good to have you. All right, there's Chibi playing the Klugas. Hi, Smidge. Good to see ya. Okay, so Jamie has the password now. Back at it again, I see Mr. Gem. Hello there, lemons. Lemons. Lemon. Oh, hey, X-Ray's here. Awesome. How's it going, X-Ray? X-Ray, you don't happen to play the L3s, do you? Alright, Clam, Black Belly, and Wahoo. That's very cool and groovy. Okay, so we gotta see the... Sure, we can make this work. Like pre-MPU? Okay, that's gonna be a bit different. I was just wondering, because you have a penchant for those quirky midline weapons. You tend to go for those, so... Thought maybe some input from you would be valuable here, but there's still plenty to talk about for sure. I do indeed.
And I'm pretty good with L3D. I recently got the silver badge on it. So I'd say I'm a little bit experienced with it.
I am turning Mr. Malix's mic down just a little bit, and that should make it a little bit less loud. Hi there, Chibi, and hi there, Jamie. They are both now in the call with us. All right, and there we go.
Alrighty.
Honk.
Oh, why did I think it was zones?
It took me so long to figure out what Lemons was saying there. This is not zones.
I don't know why I thought it was.
This map mode scares me. Both of them.
They're not great. I'm not a huge fan of either of them.
I'm just gonna squint my eyes so that way I don't have to look at it.
All right, here we go.
People up.
Clam Blitz, like it always must be on a Squid School stream.
Yes. We're teaching people how to play clams.
We got a relatively short-range comp, so it's going to be a little bit more on the aggressive side. We just got to watch our sight lines against things like the dynamo, the ballpoint, so that we don't push in while we're within their range. The ballpoint ended up falling off the ledge on the right there, so mid should be pushable. There's one on the back of this wall. I got him. Dynamo got me from below. They're booyahing.
Let me now. Going in behind the ballpoint right now.
One left carousel underneath.
Ballpoint dead.
All right.
Let's kill Dynamo.
There's one in our court still.
I'm fighting a splash
Got
shot.
him.
Thank you.
I'm gonna paint up mid and kind of
One coming left glass. Weak.
I can score.
There we go.
here.
Oh, ballpoint weak on left. That was odd positioning for them. Okay, you go score, and I'm going to try and get around on the left. I'm going to see if they watch
Dynamo
their
got it.
elbow here. They are watching
Nice,
it.
good,
Are they
good.
watching it well enough? Yes, they are. Traded.
Nice, that kills you too. Can one of you back up for a second for me to jump?
Here you go.
Thank you. Splatter
good
shot
push so far.
dropped on right. They're chasing me. It's distracting them.
Oh, we're gonna need some more clams.
Two
we're
from
pretty
left
down.
side, flushing them,
Good shoot.
flushing out the basket.
Nice, good kill, good kill. Nice, good
Good job,
double.
Malik.
Nice. There's some clams below you, but I don't see anything else nearby. So we might have to just let it
Yeah, there's just
close there.
one. Try to jump for it.
Got ballpoint.
I think I'm just gonna play rat here.
Yeah, I'm here with you. I'm gonna see if I can get some
Got Dynamo.
aggro here.
Nice.
I scored. We can score.
Okay,
more.
we can just... We have the points to win. We just need to get them in. Nice.
There you go. Oh, look, there's Debbie.
Hi, Bab, and hi, Devi. And hi there, Tori Kensa. I'm still a huge fan of that.
Also, if needed, I could play backline or midline since I'm kind of flex player.
What we're doing right now is working pretty well.
Yeah, I think we're fine.
Overslept a bit. No worries, Debbie. No worries. We've got all the people we need for now.
I'm gonna run to feed my cat really quick. It'll take like 30 seconds.
All right. Ooh, that's bold of Chibi to ready up, expecting that they will be back in time after feeding the cat. Overslept, and by overslept we mean slept at all. Well, I hope you are rested, Devi. Oh, Bab overslept too? You guys are like twins. You should be friends.
I underslept.
I'm simply more powerful than the game.
How is that possible?
Hey, Devi, the not sleeping a lot. You should not do that. Sleeping's good.
I love sleep.
I understand that sometimes people have trouble sleeping as much as would be ideal.
I've been sleeping till 1 p.m. I hate it.
Yeah, that's maybe a little much.
Yeah, no, I honestly hate it. Well, to be fair, I've been going to bed really late as of late.
Oh, well, that would be why.
Yeah. Well, I was playing
Yeah,
the
okay,
new
if you're
Final
staying
Fantasy
up
stuff.
till 4 a.m., you're doing it to yourself.
4 a.m.
I don't know, I'm making things up.
Yeah, Jen,
I think
come
it's
on,
just
at
impressive
least
if you
5
sleep into
a.m.
4 a.m.
No, not sleep until 4 a.m.
Oh, sorry.
Sleep.
I was thinking.
You go to bed starting at 4 a.m.
I was
It's
thinking
a mix,
p.m.
Jen.
There was a day a while ago where I slept from 11 one night to 11 the next night. That was when I was really sick. That was like back in high
Wow, that's scary.
school. Yeah.
All right, well, time to get our lobby guards back.
Look at the cows.
They're nice cows. All right, the lobby is back up. Same password, folks. All right, there we all are. Let's try again.
Tempted to just switch weapons to a beam gear.
Oh no, what is this clip? I don't know, I'm making things up.
Yeah, Jen,
I think
come
it's
on,
just
at
impressive
least-
if
It's literally just me saying, I don't know, I'm making things up. If I admit to what I said not being factual immediately after I say it, I don't think that makes me a liar.
This makes you inconsistent.
We've got Dex-ish. Important distinction there. Not quite Dex, but partly Dex.
I'm kinda glad. I don't want to see a full level Dex.
Elden Ring. Okay. Double stealth.
Only
jump.
coming out of jail. I'll pinch from
They're
right.
coming out
Oh, they
left.
dropped on me. Nice.
I'm down on
One
that.
their T. What happened left? Where are they? They're on grass. They're on grass.
And they punched me.
Yeah, 2 on
I
grass.
see him. Mini.
Nice.
Mini
2
down.
seconds also.
They're weak.
I tapped him like 3 times. Dang. They got the chibi. There you go. Ah.
Swift, weak, or jail?
They have a jump
Ah,
in.
they got me.
Someone in our clam basket.
Still 2
They're
T?
flanking around.
Got the squiff.
Nice. Yeah, good. Grab those clams. They can't use them. There's still 1 basket. They're right half pipe. Missling, 2 on right. Squiff is in front. Be careful. 1 jumped out. It's just
Yeah,
Squiff, and they're
zap.
backing up the T.
I'm right behind you, Jim.
All right. We're 1 down on left. Squiff top mid. They're last. Start getting map control. Paint up.
I don't know, wasted inkjet.
Yeah, they pop baller. Do you think we can get somebody coming in from right side?
Squiff is watching from T, so it's hard to get around right now.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah,
I'm coming to
yeah,
help
yeah.
left. Push left, push left.
Popping armor.
Got him. Missiling ahead. All 3 in front, all 3 in front. They're missiled though. Let's go. Oh, shoot. I landed on a ball.
I got pushed back the tiniest bit by
1 ledge.
Squiff. Got 1.
1 more under basket. All right.
Wipe.
One are jail.
Hey, right side.
Yeah.
I think our half pipe.
I'm flanking right half
Squiff
pipe.
is looking at me.
Get pressure from in front.
Okay. Down.
Squiff down.
Thank you. We're down left somewhere.
Missiling 3 on right. 1 pushing me. I'm down.
Dang.
They're starting to pile up on
There's
right.
three- there's
There's
3
1
left,
coming
right.
left, but 1 our zone.
Then a half pipe.
Blinking.
Mm. 1 ledge still.
Okay, I got
Still
2.
1
Let's
jigsaw,
go through
jigsaw,
our hills.
jigsaw.
Get that.
There you go. That's delayed wipe. So paint up right side. Several on T or something. Got 1. Let's start pushing through half
I
pipe.
got killed by splatter shot right. Moving into mid.
Gotcha. Splatter shot on me. Traded.
Me, your separated GB.
Chibi's pushing into left pipe, so watch out for maybe jump opportunity, I guess. Yeah, I guess we're going for it.
I guess so.
There we go. Can we get that 3rd power clam? Oh, okay, never mind, never mind.
No.
All good, all good.
No, retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make sure we have some map control. That play is going to give them a
Last
lot of
running.
time to paint.
Here, Jim, pass me 2. This way they can't have my clams. Thank you.
Okay, I traded 1. 2 pushing right pipe, though. We need defense there.
Yeah.
I think in that moment I should have not focused on throwing the clams. I gave my position away.
Sorry.
All good. I think we got... Oh, I got bombed. They still do need 4 clams. Or that
Got their power.
Stop the power, stop the
There you
power. Whew, okay. That was a little close, but...
You know, I should have been like, maybe like when you have. I didn't realize you were being pushed. at that point. Sorry.
I had it to mute. I couldn't do colors.
Oh, you're all good, Chibi.
I probably shouldn't have pushed that like I did, or at least asked for support, but
Yeah, we in a situation where it's gonna win you the game, I think, you know, suicide jumps like that can be worth it. They didn't recover very fast
after. It
after.
was like communicated.
Well, I mean, I called it about as soon as you were pushing for it.
Yeah, I was. I saw there was no one there, and I had enough clams, so I was just juggling.
What made that work was
squishing
that they were very, very slow to retake mid after they wiped us. They should have like already been in mid by the time I was spawning, and it took them
Yeah.
until I got back for them to really be in mid. So we had plenty of time to get back on defense, and we were able to hold off just barely. But for, you know, in competitive play, when a coordinated team, they're going to be pushing up a lot faster than that, and that's the risk that you run. That now they have, you know, 27 clams ready to go, and they're already knocking on the front door by the time we're spawned back in, and we only got a lead of 3 points. So, you know, that's why one would be hesitant about that play. That, you know, if someone out there is questioning, like, wait, why was that a bad idea? It totally worked. You know, that's the risk that we run by doing something like that. But we ended up pulling it off.
Well, I've switched to meme gear, so use my beacons. That's all I'll say.
I'm going back. Sorry, there are a bunch of questions in chat that I was reading. What was it that you asked, Mr. Malix?
Huh?
You had just asked a question, hadn't you?
No, I was saying
sorry.
that I switched to meme gear,
Oh,
so use my beacons.
gotcha. Sorry about that.
That's all good.
I was like, it registered in my brain. Wait, there's a thing I probably should have responded to. So when's the next episode of Aerospray to X? So that is a good question. It'll depend on a number of different factors. You know, when I can record again, and some other stuff. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow, because I think I'm going to do some filming for it tomorrow. But remember that the Aerospray is only happening during Rainmaker, so we need a Rainmaker rotation, among other things. Well, we're 2 down in Carousel,
3 down.
so just throw bombs, delay as long as you can, and we should be able to get there in time to protect the basket. Got one.
Beacon.
There you go. One more at basket. And then hammered steps.
Yeah, he's on the select part.
Okay, I'm gonna back up to fight them. They're still at basket. They might drop, so watch out for that. They're dropping,
Both
Tag
got
them.
their armor.
Missling to
Oh
get
my
our
God, it's the real
basket
decks.
clear.
The brush is the real dex.
There's one under right carousel. They just popped missiles.
them out.
I'm being pushed from mid.
What's up, Chibi?
Carousel.
Brushes, just be careful not to let brush drop on you from behind.
There you go.
Forgot that I don't have
Got
too
not.
much anymore.
Nice. Oh, brush in mid.
He's down.
They dropped carousel.
He's
They're still
trying to
sharking
get
there.
Traded.
Nice. Unfortunately, the missiles got wasted.
They're flying
They're-
mid. Try
They have
slash.
mid free. Be careful. They're just gonna rush in. They're gonna rush in. Just keeping bombs out there.
Drumming mid.
Rush drop behind you left. Hit him once.
I ran out like the worst
Done.
time there.
Don't mind.
It's all good.
One in mid. Rush.
Mid team
They
Alex.
might be dropping.
I have 8. Careful, left glass.
Yeah.
I almost got brush.
Watch out for missiles. I need to back up for these.
Yeah.
They're hiding in mid. Not jump.
Minnie's looking at me. I might go. I did not go down.
Brush is jetting into our court. I'm missing court.
No.
Big.
I
Clam's
died.
I can't stop the clam from coming in.
Low.
They're behind basket again.
God dang it.
Got him.
Yeah, and we need to be watching our ways in. So the power clam's coming through for free. We've got people pushing elbow all the time. Like, keep an eye on the map, know where the entrances are, and make sure we've always got someone cutting those off. If not, it's got to be you.
Mini. Ah.
I cannot see this try. Got him.
Oh, that's a spell.
Careful your last, Jamie.
Yep.
Is it jumping mid to the knot?
Alright, keep bombs in
Yeah, not
front.
coming. In court. Sure, this is the back
Brush
corner
going
die.
right again.
Run.
Good stop.
It's looking at me.
Missiling it. There's 2 on left plat that we should... Yeah.
Traded 2 down. Even man.
Still a
So
basket.
it's,
No.
She was on right last I saw.
Ah, I got the brush just too slowly. Yeah. Part of it's just we're getting outslayed, which, you know, obviously there's something to be said for that, but also just like once we've seen the flank once, we should always be looking for the flank. Once they've scored over plat once, we need something that's stopping them from standing on plat for free. Like, there are only so many places you can get in on the map, and so we can kind of look at those and make choke points out of them.
I might swap to a deco if that's okay, just because.
Yeah, do whatever you feel like. I don't care that much. You didn't need to go and answer some questions in chat, though, because I'm falling behind on that. Do you use motion controls? If so, what sensitivity? I would not say that it is obvious that I use motion controls. I don't know. So, I use +5/+5 personally. I advocate for that a lot myself because I think that it's, you know, it's just optimal. You get the most capacity to move your character's aim. Though there are other schools of thought, including among top-level players, like players better than me, use sensitivities less than that. It kind of is personal preference, but make sure that you're able to aim where you want as fast as you want. Then... do you think playing with non-main weapons is making you better or worse at your main? So, what you get out of playing weapons you don't main is game knowledge. You're not going to get as much that transfers over mechanically most of the time. I guess with some weapons, you know, it might teach you to learn to be more ink efficient or something like that. But, you know, if you're trying to get good at a weapon, playing that weapon the most is definitely the best idea. We're 1 down. They're going to start pushing in. Oh.
Yeah,
You later
now
in
in our
mid.
zone. 2 zone, 2 zone.
Oh, well, hi there.
Oh, I'm left.
52 got me left. Careful, Mr. Malix. There's one in our base behind you.
Yeah, he's in our hot pipe.
Alright. Play safe, get specials, don't stagger in. You can afford to let them score a little bit. They don't have that many clams. Charger on left. Watch the sight lines.
Charger.
I wish that
Did you
baller
down?
did stuff.
Missiling
There you go.
2. The last
Safe,
one's right.
Yeah, he's
They
back
got
up,
out
he's
on
back
right.
up.
We don't have
Okay,
to push
clean
too
up.
hard. Get map control instead. They're in left zone. Charger on top mid.
Was 52 got me, our zone.
Got one.
I did with it.
Good job. 2 down. Okay, one's gonna be on snipe.
Charger's on right. The snipe, they've dropped down since.
Got charger.
Yeah, they about to
Nice.
do their half pipe.
Missling 2 for UNT.
Got my baller.
Got him.
Saves.
We're in. Good job. Good job. We need more clams.
guys.
Charger.
Here, I'll go back.
I'll try and protect basket. Yeah, I'm gonna lose to the 52. That might be it. Yeah, I'd say dead push at this point.
Yeah. I have 9.
And get a little bit of paint on right.
Okay, I'll do that.
Ah.
Alright, they're pushing right. At least one of them. There's one coming left as well. Keep an eye on that. I've got missiles soon. Got him now.
Here.
Okay, that's one down. I'm missiling T, and I'm going to rush in from right.
Popping armor.
Hold left. Be careful.
Got
Nice,
2.
that's one down.
There you go, 3 down.
That's 3 down.
Just
3 down.
52. 52 is on the rail.
I'm gonna baller in.
Alright,
There
nice.
you go.
I am down 3 or 4. They're
No.
jigsaw. That might be end of the push. Yeah, get back
Yeah.
out, back out.
I missed a 180.
Okay, the one's gonna be on
One left.
Spire and one in jail.
One left grass.
52 looking at me, coming into the right side.
I'm watching.
Along with that, with Splash. He's in the mid somewhere.
52's backed up. They just popped armor. Eat the aggression. Oh.
Bomber's coming out too.
Sorry.
Missiles soon. Missling right side. Go in on right. Go in on right.
I'm flicking left.
That's 2 down. 3 down.
Oh.
Or 2 down. Where's the other one?
Behind.
All good.
There you go.
I'm probably.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh man, why did I make one of these?
3.
Yeah, no, we don't need. Well,
One on snipe. One on snipe.
something with it.
One pushing from mid. Got him.
Traded. Mr. Malik is trying to go in for a right side.
52 weak. They're on the jump.
52
Nice.
down. I traded.
Got, I think it's Splat Pro. There's not a Splat Pro here.
Burn out.
Can we keep it open?
Yes,
I have one more that I can keep it open with.
Okay.
Oh, I'm jumpable. I'm jumpable. Cool.
Nice. Alright.
Do we have any more? Oh, they dropped one. You can get that in. There's
Nice,
one on
nice,
the hill over here that I can grab. 2 more.
One more.
We'll see if we get that in time. Let's go.
There you go.
That was a good
Nice.
push.
Good job. I wasn't sure if you guys were gonna be able to keep it open.
Yeah, I realized I had 6 clams and I was trying to like front line. Like I probably shouldn't be doing that.
Feel free to like throw them down to somebody who's able to get them in.
Yeah.
If you, I mean, I guess that kind of gives away your stealth too sometimes, but yeah, if you're planning on moving up, and you need to just like feed the clams backwards. That's an option. All right, so I just.
Jen, Simi is asking if you can come into the VC to say GG since that was her that reflows.
Who is?
Sumi.
I'm not hearing the name, but sure.
Sumi. They're in the waiting room.
Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to say GG's. I was
GG's.
Yeah, that was me and my team.
Cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to say GG's and y'all played really freaking well.
Thank you.
Hi,
Well, what's the
Kat.
name of your team?
It's called Seashell Miracles.
Seashell Miracles. Cool. I'll keep an eye out for them.
Oh yeah, I seen like like team posts.
Yeah.
Awesome. Congrats.
Well, I just wanted to say hello.
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 GG's and have fun.
Cheers, Brenda.
All right, GG's, bye.
Boy.
That was Katsumi. We've done a VOD review for them before. Okay. Is using +5 motion controls on charger back. So backliners, the thing about backline is that you have longer range, which means that it takes a smaller amount of movement to change the angle of your shots more, if that makes sense. Like, not the angle. It's not that. If I'm trying to aim from, let's say, top mid to their T, right? If I'm a short range weapon, I just can't hit that, so I don't worry about it. But if I'm a long range weapon, tilting the controller the tiniest bit will cause my reticle to move pretty far along that point on the map. So there's an argument to be made that it is better to have a slightly lesser sensitivity as a backline player than you would with other weapons, because it's going to impact you a little bit more. It's just a trigonometry thing. Man, nobody is trying to play this rotation.
I wonder why.
Here's our cat that's in stealth mode.
There's
Okay.
a cat.
Stealth cat.
You know, they told me there was a cat in this picture, but I'm not seeing it. Hard to say. Anyway.
I wonder if the cat's wearing camo or something like that.
I think it might just be green screen.
Yeah. My thinking with a charger, you know, if I were to play charger, which, to be clear, I don't. But if I were to main charger, I would want to have it on max sense so that I could flick really quickly. Like, if someone were coming up behind me and I wanted to be able to take the charge that I was planning on aiming in front of me and hit it behind me, you can't do that without breaking your wrists if you're much less than like +3/+3. So I would want it at least at that point. People who are saying that they keep it at like any lower than like +1, I'm just like, I don't understand that. I cannot justify that to myself. I don't know if E-Leader for clams is a good idea. I usually go with Squiffers. Chargers and clam blitz are challenging. It's kind of hard to play defense with them. Not late for class? Sure you aren't. Sure you aren't. You got a pass? Isn't all that good, especially in competitive play. Charger's too slow. You aren't able to get a ton of shots off. There are definitely E-Leader players in competitive. It's, you know, I won't speak from the perspective, again, of a top-level Charger player here, but
Oh, crap.
you'll definitely see them at least up beyond the level that I play at. I think the extent to which Chargers are like less viable in competitive play is definitely overstressed. Hello, Anya. And Nuna. Oh, man. I'm still catching up on chat, aren't I? And T Octo M. As long as you hit your shots. Well, that's the whole thing, Swift. As long as you hit your shots, which you're going to hit shots slower if you snap to your opponent slower. If somebody comes up behind me and I can't do that really quickly, then I'm not going to hit them before they splat me. So, like, it is all in service of hitting your shots. Oh, there's a Squiff under right. Nice.
Dead.
That right
Me,
there is a
too.
moment where I see that my teammates are in position to deal with them, and I just back off and let them take it instead of taking the disadvantageous fight head on.
Oh, Hydra is on left glass. Swift is on the right flats.
These are some zoomy beacons.
Yep.
Here, I have 9. I don't want to make a ball quite yet.
Oh, that is a Hydra watching me. Nope, the
I gotta
Hydra's
trade out of
not
that.
watching.
Oh, I thought his charge was dead.
Fleeing?
Or done, not dead. Careful about our plot.
Actually,
Missling plat.
Ah, I traded
Back.
again.
I couldn't get the bomb out there in time. Oh well.
Okay, there you go. Squiff is looking at me right glass.
Oh, that bad jump.
I don't know if I can save you.
Hydra mid.
Squiff is looking at me right side.
Bridge is up. Watch out for push.
Squiff down.
That's 2
One
down.
still right glass, so careful.
Glass is Hydra.
Okay, Shove is on right glass.
Oh, are they still there?
Yeah,
No, they got me.
I hit him twice.
They're in court now. They're pushing basket. One from left carousel. One plat. Watch
Watch out
plat.
for the plat.
I'm
Yeah.
down. Bomb from carousel. They're in carousel. All right, good
Done.
job.
Escape beacons.
Beautiful. Okay, the 2 down. One just respawned.
I'm gonna go down a carousel, see what if I can flank or something.
Missling 2 on left. Go in on them.
Got one.
Nice.
Another bomb.
Hydra dropped to... Oh, I can flank the Hydra. Okay, I can't flank the Hydra.
Okay, I have ball
Half the
already.
missiles. Oh, one pushing me right. They got me. Right carousel. On the... they're backing up the court. We're 2 down. We're 2
Not
down.
expecting them to ink it.
There's a dog
Okay, ball
gnawing
down.
on someone's leg or something.
You hear Bucky? Yeah. Got the key shot.
Down. Squiff is plat.
Two
Nice.
down.
Good shots.
Bad armor. I'm gonna pick up this. It's pity.
I have missiles ready to go. I'm gonna missile their court. They're jumping
One
into
jumped
court.
out. Here's
Pushing
looking
flat.
at me, along with Squiff.
Okay, K-shot's finally dead.
Nah,
Ah!
yeah, I needed help in the fight before we wanted to try and score there.
You know, sorry, didn't. That was dumb of me.
I was chasing the K-shot because they were really weak. Come down here, Inkjet. I know you want to.
Okay, cool. I just scored a bunch of points for that. Hydra's right below.
Alright.
On my ouch. Backed up the steps.
Dang it.
Watch the right peak. Nice.
Trade with key shot.
Get out of there if you can.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Squiff pushing right.
Off.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
I probably could have climbed up and then tried to jump on top of them.
There's
Okay,
2
with,
on right glass. They're pushing right.
Squiff.
We've got armor. I'm down. Okay, shot from right.
Okay.
There's still 1 plat.
They don't have. They don't have a. I don't
They
know.
do have pity.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, I got beacons set up for defense.
Missling. I'm gonna try and push into mid.
Oh. Died instantly.
1 carousel. Carousel. Still carousel. Nice. Last 1 court.
Hit him once.
Good stop.
Nice.
I don't even know if I killed them or not.
It did. At least on my screen. It's funny. The ball was just floating there. I kept second guessing myself at that match.
I'm so happy with my score, the flank rounds there. That kept the score going.
Yeah, that was good. It completely distracted the Hydra, so I was able to get in there and score without having to pay attention to them at all.
Working.
I think getting 3 peers of sub power up was a great choice.
Very.
Gross.
I mean, I had 3 peers of MPU.
Ah.
On Jamie, you
I
only
was
learned that on
trying to
Aerosmith. What
grind
are you
for
doing?
3 peers of bomb defense up as well.
That's my brush build. Okay, so no object trip, but double stealth. Oh, it's double inkjet.
Here's some nerf with T-Tech.
They have T-Tech and Octo Shot.
Oh no, the armor went right out of.
No,
It's really funny.
never about mid. Like
Ah.
Hydra's directly above.
Last.
Hydra dropped left carousel.
I'm gonna try and jump on them.
They're gonna push right to left. Watch plot, watch plot. Nice.
Ah! Hit 2 shots if they have armor.
careful,
One
jump.
a basket. I know.
Yeah.
They might try to go right. Hydra's supporting from plat. We need our
They
plat.
have Inkjet ready.
I missiled
Watch
our
out for
plat.
that.
They have armor. Okay, stay safe, Chibi. Farm special.
Careful about dualies and our bats.
Good job, Chibi.
GB.
Oh, that was not the direction.
Ah, they went the other way.
Oops.
Getting pushed by T-Tech. Alright, careful. We're still down. See if we can stop the power.
I got it.
Nice, nice. Oh, that got me.
Ah, they still got it.
Yeah, there we go.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. My aim is so garbage right now.
On defenses, we don't necessarily have to like stop them right away. We need to stop them conclusively. So make sure that we're not just like running into fights, that we are getting special charged so that we have, you know, an armor to pop to go in with. I'm trying to get missiles to go in with, things like that. It was mostly just that we got staggered really badly once they started scoring. We never dislodged them from our snipe, so they could keep running people in and pinching us.
This could be a big gamble. I'm gonna switch to Squiffer.
I do like the extra range, because we didn't have a lot to contest our plat at all.
Yeah.
Are you fine with double armor, Jamie?
Debating whether drop roller. I think it's not good because. I'll stick with it because it's Inkjet.
Welcome to the YouTube side, Yoshi. Ooh. Wait. Did I see the names that I thought I saw?
I
don't know if
was
you-
looking away.
We'll see. Okay,
I don't know if I want to be playing Smash with a weapon I can't use great.
if this is actually Gray and Biscuit, I'm surprised that they're 2150, but we'll see. Those are some... So Biscuit is on FT Win, and Gray has, I think, subbed for some DivX teams or something. I don't think they were... They were like Div 1 last I checked. They're very, very good.
Armor. 1. 2 down.
To their ledge. Pushing.
Bandage jump.
2 are on me.
Got one.
I hit 2 shots on
There you
this,
go.
but I don't know why that
There's
lived.
still one behind us.
Yeah.
I got their backs.
It's not.
Then my bomb killed him off the wall.
Oh, there was one in front of me that I guess my missiles didn't find
Roller.
on the jump.
Okay, I could have gotten the shot, but they had armor.
That was a really good opening push, though. They're coming in from right. Let's get bombs out there and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the right side.
Yeah, they have 2 balls.
Got one.
1.
Shred.
Ah, I'm down.
Nice shred.
Yeah, next to you guys. Squeezer. Coming
They're
in with
bubbling.
bubbles.
Got him.
Nice, excellent. 2 down.
Squiff above.
I have ran out of ink.
Missiling forward.
Got Squiffer.
Nice.
On their ledge still. I think it's 96. Oh, to their T. They dropped with armor.
I didn't pop it soon enough for you.
We're 2 down.
Yeah. Being pushed by 52.
Someone's rotating right. I'm not sure who. I think it's Squiffer.
Whiff. Yeah, Squiff. And 52.
Oh, they directed me. Wow.
Squeezer on left.
My bubble's ready. Be very careful.
And Booyah.
As soon as you contest, we need armor. All right, let's go. Let's go.
I'm gonna go
Got one.
behind.
Just the Squiffer in the
Just
bubbles.
Squeezer.
There's Squeezer, yeah.
There you go.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay,
I
Good
think I wasted
fight.
that ink jet.
Super clean.
They take left now.
I've got missiles ready. We can start pushing immediately. Missiling 3.
One might be top mid. They're dropping down on right. Be very careful.
That's one down. One at
got
basket.
Nice, excellent, excellent.
Oh, I'm down.
Did you
I've
see
got
me?
clams
Nice,
down there,
you
though.
got me.
Got
Good job,
one.
Malik.
Okay.
All right. That's a little more.
Ooh. Nice try, Chibi. I like the idea.
Let's try and get right painted real quick.
Squiff is in their jail.
I flee.
Here, trying to help you.
Griff is in mid.
Yeah, they're trying to set up on right again. Oh, I got fall offed? I didn't think you could do that with that weapon.
Okay, got Squiff.
Okay, 3v3. Nice. 3v2. Just Squiffer. Just Squiffer.
Nice.
Oh,
Squeezer is on their side. Squiff is also on right side.
I died to an invisible splat bomb. Cool.
Running away. No, run away. 52 is in our zone.
Got him.
All right. I'm
Good
a little
job.
bit far forward. I'm going to back up a little.
You had.
Oh,
you had
that was not one of us. My bad.
Chibi with you behind.
We're 2 down.
Yeah, careful, Malik.
Should I just back out my left?
You're good. You're good. Careful about
Rotating
our
on
half
right.
pipe.
There's 2 top mid
Let's
still,
go.
so if you have a fight right, you might. Okay, we're not pushed that far out. Never mind.
52 is trying to climb up to our snipe.
There's a jump to top mid. I think I've got it.
I-
wrong.
Good job.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't know. I shot through armor or something.
I pushed him a
Oh.
little bit forward.
Missiling
Ah.
right.
Bubbles coming up on our half
Right
pipe.
is isolated.
Have armor. There we go. Yeah.
They just popped armor. Oh, I'm
Got
going to
him.
lose this. I'm down. Still 2 on right. Careful, Malix. We're backed up from the booyah. Nice.
There
That's 2
you
down.
go.
Griff is on right.
Close to missiles. I'm gonna back up and try and keep them alive. Watch out as they rush. Eat the aggression. Make them blow specials for no reason.
Squiff.
There we go.
Nice.
I guess they didn't have a plan.
Nice, let's go.
Looks
That
like
was a-
Swiffer was a good gamble.
That
That-
bomb triple though.
Our defense was immaculate in that game. That was really, really good. We were getting specials as quick as we could. We were popping them to start good fights, and we were taking those good fights very decisively and very quickly. I'm really proud of that last game. All right. I'm going to go and take a quick restroom break, but then I will be back promptly to do the VOD review. We'll start with Mr. Malix, because Mr. Malix is already here. Lily will not be able to join us today for the stream in all likelihood, but they will be able to watch the recording after the fact. So, I'll be right back, folks. In the meantime, here's the frog, just because everyone loves the frog.
Yes.
All right. Frog Pog. I'm gonna back us up to where we need to be in the VOD. And then we're gonna switch over to this view. Wabam! Oh, why is this on display capture? That's not how that should work. There we go. Okay. Very nice, very nice. Okay. So we've got that. I am going to project this in the Discord call so Mr. Malix can see.
All right.
All right. So that should be visible to you. Quick question, which do you think is more viable, single Splat Bomb Jr. or double Bomb Jr.? Single Bomb is my concrete answer to that question. I do actually have a video on YouTube on that exact subject. And that video comes from a conversation that I had with Chara, Hamrum, Brock.com, and Shy, all top 500 players, on the How to Get Top 500 video. It was during that same recording session that all of that came out. Basically, if you're using LDE, you will end up getting double bomb at a certain point, and so it's not, you know, if you need a little bit of extra sub power up to get it that way, that's more defensible. But using that much of your gear to get double bomb when your basic play style is throw a bomb and then paint a bunch instead of throw two bombs and then wait and don't paint anything, it's not a use of your gear that you need to be doing, and really it's kind of a tactical error to just throw two bombs and then have to sit still and do nothing for 5 seconds while you recharge your ink. you want to be able to throw a bomb and exert that pressure on the map, but then also be painting and getting that armor charged faster, because you're just not going to get that as fast with the bombs, and that's what you're running a junior for. So, winks profusely. Exactly. All right. Yeah, that wasn't the actual biscuit and gray, for the record. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that was not them. So, Rainmaker, that's a pretty high power, winks. I like how you put high in air quotes because of that video on the get good problem. So here's what I would say about this comp. I feel like this is really unfortunate because you've got a jet and a charger at the same time, so double backline. The jet is going to want to position relatively patiently because they're going to be race spamming in all likelihood. Then you've got a 52, which is, it can be an aggressive weapon, but this particular one has Curling Bomb and Stingray, which do not allow it to do K-52 things. It's going to be playing a lot more passively. You don't want to be playing super aggressively either. You play to have people feed into you or to be able to, pop a special and get in using that. So this combination of weapons is really, really, really passive. Your game plan here is really dependent on the enemy team feeding into you in order for you to get picks, and then to capitalize on that by pushing that advantage once you're actually able to, get people grouped and control some space. But it's going to be a very slow, measured play style. And the other team does not have that problem at all. This is actually a pretty good team comp, all things considered. You might be able to criticize part of it, but for solo queue, this is pretty good. I'm not complaining when I see this. We've got a good mix of aggression, zone control. We've got a good mix of specials here. I think is that a T-Tech or is that a vanilla shot? Why do people play vanilla shot?
I think
don't
it's a
understand
V-shot.
Yeah, it is. I don't really understand why people use that weapon, to be quite honest. I think lethal bombs are so valuable. Even though burst bomb works really well with that weapon, I much prefer to have the splat bomb that the T-Tech has, and I'm obviously much prefer to have the inkjet than the splashdown. So that's a weapon I don't prefer to have, especially since it now puts them at double splashdown. But it's not like they knew that was going to happen going into this. So anyway, their weapon comp is a lot more aggressive. They're able to push in, but they're also able to kind of hold back and zone you out. So this is going to be really annoying. You're going to be getting burst bombs chucked at you. You're going to be running into the wall and not being able to do an awful lot. Trying to fight a K-machine with anything other than a K-52 or a squeezer is just such a pain in the butt. They're able to zone you out really hard with that projectile and the fizzy bombs. So this is a tough weapon comp to play into. And so that's something that I want us to recognize going into this, that there are going to be some inherent problems here. Now, one big advantage you do have is if there were ever a map to have this comp, it's Albacore. Albacore is really good for long-ranged weapons just because it's really wide open, lots of open sight lines, lots of space, lots of areas where you have bridges where it's difficult to approach a backline or a cross. It's just more difficult to push into a backliner's sight line on this map than it is elsewhere. So if you are going to have them, push in, feed in, and give you picks, it is going to be on this map, and you can play slow for that exact reason. Get the picks, and then start pushing based on that. So you see that they're not really challenging the shield too much, and you decide to, play it safe, make sure that you've got eyes on what's on right. Yep. And this is what you should be doing. You want to make sure that you're not going to get flanked from over here.
Yeah, I saw the person over there, so I was worried.
Something that you can be doing, so when you pause to take a look at where they're at, right now this spot right here is right about where I would expect them to think you are. If they, if they've been watching you and they saw the paint go down here, this is probably where they would think that you're going to be. If you stealth swim a little bit over to one side or something like that, now, even if there's been a player watching you that you haven't spotted, if they try to like pre-fire on your location and you've stealth swam someplace else, then they'll miss you, and now you'll have an advantage in that fight. So that's one little thing you could be doing, but really you're kind of just trying to collect information here. So you jump immediately in response to this. Especially if someone's in range to throw a bomb at you, be careful about when you decide to jump, just because you might be surrendering maneuverability. I guess with the L-3, it's not as big of a deal because the shot takes so long that you're probably going to have your feet back on the ground by the time you're done. But
yeah, I noticed I jump a lot more with L3 just because it takes so long to get back into the ink.
Mm-hmm. I like that you don't pick up the Rainmaker there. I was worried you were going to for a second. We don't have any advantage right now. No picks have been had. You don't even really know where most of the enemy team is at the moment. You have the vague idea that there's someone on the left, especially because the Ray is shooting there. And you know that there's the machine on right. But we don't really have concrete positions right now. And the enemy team is just kind of playing it really, really super safe. So I definitely agree that the play here is to try and look for some kind of advantage first. You make a little bit of a risk trying to... Jumping off of this, I probably not something I would... like, anytime you're dropping off a ledge, unless you need to jump to make it across a gap or something, I recommend almost never jumping, because that's going to keep you in the air significantly longer than you already have to. And being in the air in the first place is a disadvantage. So you probably just want to swim off this. I guess you're probably doing it to try and throw the burst bomb, but the fact that you're combining the jump with falling off the ledge means you're going to be in the air for a long time. If the charger has charge here, this is a pretty easy shot for them to hit, especially since they're already in position to right side peek. And they go for the shot on someone else, so very close to actually being able to take that shot on you. But what's nice then is that you then have your inkjet and you take a really good shot. They're not moving enough after they take their shots. You have a good read on them, and this is a beautiful direct right here that is going to open things up for your team. And it's great timing on your teammate to be flanking around while they see this play developing to potentially get more going there. Now, unfortunately, I don't think they end up being able to get anything else out of this. They have to kind of back up. Your teammate goes down, you get pushed from in front. What happens here? So they're directly on your jump because they've already splatted. Did the Rainmaker carrier go this way? Why did they go this way? That makes me sad. That was not the way that they... Well, I guess they had the 52.
A lot of solo queue matches.
That's probably what it was. They were following the 52. That's what they were doing. That makes more sense to me. Cause
I had a lot of solo queue matches where people going the right side or going the middle way while we're pushing left, and I'm just
yeah, I can see where this is coming from, because the 52 is the only player who I think is in position to get this pick, so I'm assuming that it's the 52 who gets the guy on the right, and then they sweep through towards the enemy snipe. So when your I guess jet backs up to grab it, they probably see, oh, there's already ink through here, right? So there's probably something that someone's already painted over there. Now, what I would prefer they do is recognize that this player is already so far in front of them that there's a gap between them and someone could slip in between that gap. And also that your jump is over here on the left, and as soon as you land, you're going to just be fully focused on doing things to help the Rainmaker carrier. So I don't know exactly what happened there, but the Rainmaker kind of... That's a little bit fast on them, especially since there's already some stuff going on in mid. If they were going to move, they would want to already have it and to be moving left with you guys. But your 52 is still doing a great job. They got another pick on their way back, so your team has got a pretty good position in mid, and you should be able to regroup from this, at least. It's always a pity when, you get a pick and the team isn't really able to capitalize on it, but it happens. I like that you're just kind of holding down on left. You're not trying to push too far forward because you're not going to have any support as soon as you go around this piece of cover here. You might be able to like maybe peek around and throw a burst bomb or something to maybe poke them into the charger's line of sight, but that's about the most you're hoping for here. Those are some good burst bombs. You know, you're making it really difficult for them to stay on the other side of cover here, which is where they're safe from the charger. Unfortunately, in this time, the right side does get compromised, and this, I would say, is not a great play from the 52, because the Rainmaker is being defended by the enemy team. Like, you're not controlling the zone around it. So them being up here makes it so that you're now in a 2v4 instead of a 3v4, and you, like, if you could pick up the Rainmaker and get to them, this would be a good play, but there's just too much pressure from mid to make this happen right now. Let me see if there was ever an opportunity that it would have been a good idea to do this. Right now, they've still got full control of the Rainmaker. One thing I would probably do is at least check over the right to see what's going on over here, because we don't really know what's developing for this entire fight here. It's like, yes, in general, I like you holding down the left side, but since we don't know what's going on the right side, the flank that comes in, we might have had some warning about that. Especially, I'm curious what got the 52 over to that position, because they were closer to you earlier. But now the 52 is going to be able to just push way up. You've got a good flank coming in from the teammate here, and they've shown that they were able to hold their own, so you might be able to capitalize on that. What happens here? So you spot them out of the corner of your eye here. What I would probably want to do here, because you've already got a teammate on the left, so if you are shooting from the same angle your teammate is here, this guy just gets to hide behind cover. But what you could be doing is getting over to the right-hand side here instead of dropping off and like throwing a burst bomb right here to flush them out. Then you can right-side peek around the ledge to use that for cover. You have height advantage, so you can just back up if they're ever getting shots on you. In this way, you have an angle that you can use to flush them out from behind the cover. Dropping down here doesn't give you any advantages, and in fact puts you in their range. So we are able to get the pick, but you're forced to work a lot harder to get it. And really, that works, I think, best because your teammate, you see, is actually flanking around to get that angle on them. So something to think about for how to take that particular fight. They're 2 down right now, so I really want one of your teammates picking it up. There, we're good. We've got one picking it up. You know that there's someone over here, so you're throwing stuff. Yeah, I don't know where they ended up going. Let me see if I can spot that here.
Yeah,
so you tap them right there. Like, they move over here. Oh, okay. It's when you turn your camera that they get around this ledge. That's what happens.
Yeah, that confused me so much.
And I think it confuses you again, because like they put a burst bomb right here, right? So you figure, oh, they must have thrown that from over the top of this. That's what fooled me the first time. But they're actually throwing that from back here up over the top, and it lands at this angle. As you can see, it landed here and not like right here or back here, because they can't hit that angle from behind cover over here. They had to launch it up and over in this direction. So they're over on the right-hand side now, actually. Actually, they just got splatted too, so. Yeah, okay, they trade with your 52 over here on the right. But yeah, I can totally understand you being worried about that and, not wanting to rush around the corner recklessly. Even though your Rainmaker player does clearly see that has happened. Nice. Yeah, I was looking at that like, yeah, you should be able to get this pick. You just hem them in a little bit. Make sure you're staying safe, and then you get down and you're able to get that. The first thing that I'm worried about at this point is someone being either up on this wall or over from the right side and jumping to the right. If they're going to do one of those things before we can get it up into left, they can stop the push right here. And so a lot of the time, especially as a short-range weapon, I'm trying to angle to be around in this area, someplace where I have cover from wherever the threat is coming from. Also, bear in mind that there's a splashdown that could come down over the top of this wall at any time, and so you're going to want a position where you can run away from that from. Okay, that is probably the mildest splashdown they could have done. They could have just jumped that forward And I don't think anyone on your team was going to be in position to cancel that. That's too high up for you to aim, and the Rainmaker does not hit that out of the sky. So they probably could have gone for an even more aggressive splashdown than that. There, I like this, you know, this exact play is what I was talking about there. Now, you do have to realize that you don't have an advantage from this position right now. Like, this is a good hiding spot, but you immediately need to be getting into your weapon's range. The L-3 is a weapon that is not good up close to someone. It's a weapon where you need to zone them away. You need to kind of keep them at arm's length. Use that kind of Splattershot Pro kind of range. Use that K52 kind of range to force them to move into your range while you're already hitting them. From right here, you have left side peek. You're on enemy ink, and you're up against a 52, which is one of the faster kill times out of any of the short range shooters. So you need to just get out of there right now. Even if you give them an angle to the Rainmaker is very clearly watching this. This is like their #1 priority. And if the 52 gets close enough to the Rainmaker that they can actually hit them, now you've got enough time to be in a good spot to pinch them from this direction. So I wouldn't worry about like having to stay between them and the Rainmaker. I would be backing up to get into my optimal weapon range to take this engagement. Because you back up to start to use cover over here, and that's maybe an idea to start creating some space. Okay. It ends up going down, so you don't have to worry about it as much. I like that you're throwing that bomb. It's unfortunate that it's timed right as the Rainmaker starts going and right as that guy drops down, but that's not on you. At this point, having missed this many shots, you're probably not going to find them. They probably have room to get out of there somehow. And you see so little right now. You have so little information. I wouldn't have wanted to fire this often. I'd want to kind of back up and start getting information again, especially since you're down a player now. You're looking for maybe a steal or something here is my guess. Because here's the thing, and what ends up happening is you end up going for a fight here, and there's a player further up the hill who just shoots you in the back when you start. So let's just factor it. You say at one point in the text probably should have just jumped out, which is probably true, but let's also talk about the way that we take this fight, because I think that's also illustrative. So from right here, you don't have a fighting advantage. You are left side peeking around a wall. The enemy team has enough space to like rush straight up to you, so you're not able to use your range. So if you're gonna go for a pick, it's going to be somebody that you can immediately remove from play, that you know you've got your aim on, and that you're going to be able to just delete and then focus on the 1v1. Because right now the Charger's firing Stingray. They don't know that you're here, so you get a pick and then back up a little bit. Now you've probably put yourself into this situation where you've got a 1v1 and this player is out of the picture because you've got a wall in between you and them. So that's probably the idea if you're going to go for something like this. What you could also potentially do is if they're a little bit lazy and don't like quite paint everything and they push past you a little bit waiting for the Rainmaker to reset, you could, in theory, go for a steal and try and suicide for a few more points. And that's the first play that I thought of, because I don't like the fight that I'm seeing here. So there's clearly two players up here. One of them is far in front of the other, so even if I were to take a fight on this guy would immediately have my back and spot me, and I'm in their line of sight. And I think you don't notice that second player, because you just start to engage on this player, and there's already somebody on top of you. You're also engaging on a 52, so even if you have the element of surprise, they have the faster kill time. So you need to have your aim on right away. And when you start shooting at them, you miss your first shots, you misread your prediction on where they're going. You, even after missing the first shot, like, you probably want to be dropping down over the box, using it for cover, and trying to like get a jump out or something at that point. Because at that point, you know they're just going to crash on you. So, the way that the fight is played was not conducive to the shark working out. You probably could have, in theory, made something out of that, but you're probably also right that the best call is just to jump out of that situation. So you're trying to protect the charger from possibly being rushed. Your charger's over on the far left. Oh no, this is your 52. Right, you have the fire fin, they have the ray charger. Okay, never mind. So you're over here working with this charger, and I agree with that. They need someone painting for them in front of them in order for them to be able to do things. And you already have someone on the left-hand side, because remember, that 52 is really aggressive. If you take this obvious position in mid and just zone them out, the 52 is going to have a flank route. So, oh wait, no, this is the 52. What? Oh, this is the jet, because you have 2 rays. I am so confused. Okay. But I still agree with this positioning. I think that's probably the right call. Now, what I don't agree with here is the play to move up onto top mid. Again, your 52 is far enough in front of you that there's potential for there to be a gap, and there's a lot of green paint in front of this. You don't necessarily know that there's not someone on the other side of the cover here. So if you're going to approach this, I would start by like right side peeking it or something. If somebody does jump up over the top, you can like play around the corner and make them have to walk all the way to the edge to be able to look down and shoot you. And meanwhile, your charger has a clear line of sight. But popping up over the top like this, there is the risk of this exact play happening. And I remember you popping up like this and being like, ooh, there's a lot of green ink in front of them for them to be doing this, and here they are. So maybe you could have reacted, I don't know, but you definitely could have played it safer on the rollout, and I think that gives you a more consistent opportunity to survive that. So now your 52 comes in, tries to clean up, but they have no help whatsoever. Now the jet's trying to help. Okay, they jump out. Good. I don't like the idea of sitting here in the same location as your jet. If the charger looks over in this direction and shoots at one of you, they could get a collat. And if someone paints, tries to paint, behind you to cut off your escape route, they either hit your teammate or cut you both off. Taking the same position like this, especially a position where you're poking, you're making yourself visible, you're more likely to draw aggro to your teammate who is trying to shark. Better to have them have to shoot in 2 different directions to hit both of you. What I would like to see in this position is for you to start moving to the right, because the right is their best push on this map. And you don't have a lot of control there. You don't have a lot of information about what's developing. We did see someone moving over to the right, so it'd be good to have eyes on that. But from right here, you've only got this tiny little rectangle of land, and the chances that you're going to be able to safely push into mid from here are very slim. So you're putting yourself in a position that's kind of a dead end, where you're going to have to back up and reposition, and that gives the other team time to rotate to where they want to be. And you do decide to end up rotating over here at this point. If you had rotated over, you could potentially be there with your 52 and be taking like a fight together here. You're doing the best you can to help that out. Good job following the rotation of the Rainmaker. A lot of players would either have overcommitted to defending on the left and gotten rotated out of position so that the Rainmaker could move right, or they wouldn't have paid enough attention to this at all and let them get lead by walking over the bridge. So that I think was the appropriate amount of response to it moving left and then rotating back to mid again. This fight right here, so you see them here and you recognize, oh, I've got an opportunity. But you're starting to fire before you have your aim on. So that's giving your position away, and the missed shots give them the time to move out of range. Meantime, the Rainmaker is spotting, oh, they're not looking at me, they're looking at this guy, and they start to move. At a certain point, you want to pull the plug on aggressing this, because they're now in their own ink, and they're able to kind of move out of range. I think you do eventually get it, but now other developments have happened elsewhere on the map that are more important than that fight. You either want to be like hard collapsing on the Rainmaker at that point, or you at least want to be paying attention to what's coming up over the right-hand side. I think this 52 player comes from the far right here. Yeah, they come from the far right. So having nobody was there somebody watching this earlier? Hold on, what's going on over here? Okay, so you've got your 52 over on right. They get backed up a little bit. Do they go down? What's happening on the right here? Yeah, your 52 goes down. So this 52 wins the fight on right and takes them out, and then they're able to flank you. So yeah, I would say, you know, keeping an eye on what's on right or on what the Rainmaker is doing are probably more important than this guy who's in mid and is completely out of play otherwise. Like, this guy can maybe get a few shots up onto here or up onto here. Otherwise, they are not a threat for the next 5 seconds or so before they do anything else. So given that you're this close to losing lead, it's this close to the end of the game, that you have been taking this fight for a pretty long time, might want to direct your attention someplace else, at least for a second, because that pick ends up not really helping you. It gets immediately traded back, and the Rainmaker, I believe, pushes in for lead off of this. Okay. 32 is an unfortunately far push for how little of an advantage they had won at that moment in time, but at least it was stopped. Ooh. Unfortunate that teammate goes in for this fight when they still have mid control. They're left side peeking, and they're putting themselves at a range where most of the enemy team's weapons can still hit them, so they can't really abuse their range. I'm not a huge fan of this peek from them. There are a couple of shots that we're missing here. What might help you, instead of trying to shoot over the corner, is moving further to the right towards the ledge here so that you can like right side peek around the ledge. That'll give you a better angle. So this is fine. Playing safe because the Rainmaker is about to reset, and your team does not have a lot of resources to push out with. You do have your Inkjet, and if you see a good opportunity to use that Inkjet, if one presents itself, then you can go for it. But I would definitely say to make sure that you're going to use that when you have, and granted your teammate just went down, right? But you want to be looking for an opportunity to use that either in neutral or when you have advantage. Now you're like one of the only things for them to look at, and so now they're able to direct a lot of their attention to you. You're more likely to have a successful inkjet if they have to look at other things while you're inkjetting, and right now they really don't. There's only one other player. They're pretty far past you at this point, so you're hoping for an inkjet direct in like a 1v2 where they have all of the ink in mid painted. It's a pretty low percentage attempt after you miss the first shot. So in this position, I think you've got a bunch of teammates on, you know, guarding like your street area. Like they're all watching that and they've got pretty good range. You can probably count on them to be able to hold that. What you might want to do is start putting some pressure on from the right-hand side very tentatively, at least get some attention, because maybe a charger gets a crossfire pick off of that or something like that. You don't want to hard commit to this, but if you're able to start painting into mid, that gives your teammates some space to push up, and you're one of the best weapons to be doing something like that. Because like from right here, again, this is a dead-end sort of position. Unless you actually have the safety, you know, the paint in mid and the knowledge of where the opponents are to be able to go up over the top of snipe, where do you run away to from here? You either run away to the left, which exposes you to mid, or you run away to the right, which puts you on glass, or you have to go up over a ledge or something, or you go backwards and you end up on unpaintable turf. Snipe is kind of bait, unless you have a weapon that's really long range that can actually get a good sightline over mid from there. And against the other weapons you're up against, you don't like those odds. The splatter shot can harass you with splat bombs. The K-52 can just put a wall up and use that to get close to you. The charger can hit you from miles away, and the machine is going to be able to hit up over this ledge pretty well as also, or just throw fizzies at you. So it's a very easily attacked position that doesn't give you a lot of access to mid. It doesn't let your team move forward up until the point that you actually have control of mid using it. So usually this is more of a splatling position, more of like a charger position, maybe if they're not getting harassed too hard. But your best way into mid, I would say, as a short-range shooter is to be coming, well, I guess it's kind of mid-range, whatever, is to come in from the right-hand side or the far left-hand side, and to take mid in that way. Because otherwise, you've got low ground, you're having to go over a grate or jump over the water, you don't have a lot of cover. You might just be, dropping back here to inkjet from this position where it's behind a wall, but if you had gone out to the right, for example, you would have seen this 52 and been able to keep them from getting anywhere near that far in. But since you backed up, the entire time you were spending backing up and coming all the way over here, they were just painting up the wall and coming down and around. And you weren't engaging the enemy team, you weren't like stopping them from doing anything in the meantime. You were banking it all on getting that one inkjet pick. So that again is, playing the weapon to its advantages. It's where does my weapon succeed the most on a map like this, or on this map, I should say. Well, I want to be right side peeking around this wall, and then I can hit most things that are over here and win these fights. And chargers don't have great sight lines on me unless they've walked all the way out to here, where they're going to be vulnerable to my teammates. So pushing around on right-hand side, pretty good push, gives you a good escape route, and gives you a lot of cover to work with. And so that's kind of part of playing your range, is like knowing what a weapon of your range wants to be doing. Or you play over here, which allows you to kind of drop down behind what you are presuming is the enemy position. It lets you play alongside the crossfire from your backliner, who's probably going to be positioned on that bridge over there. So you've got some opportunities for good flank routes or something from there as well. You've also got at least some line of sight where you could potentially get an inkjet off from. I don't think the inkjet from over here is a great plan, but it's at least an idea that you might be able to take advantage of if you see someone out in the open. Right now, you got to be on panic mode. You got to be like, it is time for us to get to the Rainmaker and pick it up at all costs. You don't have time to set up anything pretty at this point. You don't have time to farm special. You don't have time to paint too much. You got to just book it for mid. And to your credit, you do succeed in doing that right at the last second. I like that Rainmaker shot, and I like where you drop. You know that there's danger from left, and you can't do anything about that right now, but you can neutralize the danger from this angle for at least the time being, and at the same time keep yourself safe from this by dropping over the ledge. So this is a really safe play. You do need to be careful about something coming from the right-hand side, but hopefully you've got somebody on your team who's watching that. And so you see your teammate is going this way, and you decide to move with them, which is awesome. And honestly, I think that's about as good as you're going to be able to do. Let me slow this down for a second and just think. The one other idea that you have here is so let's see where you start getting shot from first. Because you know there's someone in front of you, and you know that there's someone throwing burst bombs from over here. Okay. I think your better idea, actually, instead of trying to go up the wall, is trying to hug the left-hand side here. Because yes, there's this player, but you have a teammate who's in between you and them. This guy has already circumnavigated your teammate. So if you go around the left-hand side of this guy doesn't have an angle as fast, and you might be able to like squid over the glass and make yourself a small enough target, or even just let this guy body block for you for long enough to get over there. Going up over the top, though, exposes you to both of them at the same time. It gives you no cover against this guy, and then this guy is now, your teammate isn't between you and them anymore. So that's probably the better play, but you're doing the best you can in a split-second decision here. So all things considered, you came really close. So what I would do is jump from here to as far up on the glass as I can go, and then try and walk on the glass to get around the corner. And I think the points break down about the same way as they would going up over the top here, and that probably keeps you safer from this guy for long enough. What you could potentially do, if this guy wins this fight against this player, then you can play around the corner and just make it as difficult as possible for this player to find an angle, because you're on this side, and now you're on this side, and now you're on this side, and give your teammate as much time as possible to get on top of them. And then if you see that this player is going to commit to you because your teammate flushes them out, then you can have a shot ready on the corner to stop them from being able to push around it. So you have some ideas there that might have worked out, but overall, you know, this is a really good Rainmaker play right up until the point where it fails at like 40 remaining. But good intuition that you need to pick it up, that you have teammates pushing ahead of you that can help you here. Like, the objective play there is pretty solid, and it's about the best you could have done in that position. All right. So major takeaways. 1, make sure that you're not putting yourself at too close a range to somebody, or that you're not trying to occupy backline positions. Keep yourself solidly in the midline. Make sure that you're always keeping that zone of control around you at the range you actually want it to be at with that weapon. And one thing that I will say is that, you know, spotting that you have played a whole bunch of different weapons today, it might be that you have like frontline instincts that are interfering with this weapon, or that you're, you know, used to maybe playing a backliner that you flex. And so you're getting your positioning mixed up a little bit with what you would normally want to do with this weapon. So that might be something to think about. But I generally like the, you know, the self-talk that I'm hearing from you, you know, the here's what I'm looking at sort of thoughts. There are some situations where there are a couple of pieces of information you're missing that would have helped you make a better decision. And there are even some situations, I would say, where there is information that is missing that you could have collected with a different camera angle. So, for example, a couple of times that you got flanked on right, the time where you were sitting underneath their big wall on left and the 52 ended up dropping on you. It ended up working out for you, but that could have gone a lot worse if the 52 had known you were there and just kind of worked on flushing you out. So a couple of situations there where you're denying yourself some information that you could be using, but you are generally looking for a lot of the right things. And also just kind of like think about the comp and what the comp is trying to do and try to play into that. So there are, you know, a lot of situations where you need to be the aggressor even though you don't really want to be. So maybe popping an inkjet to try and force with the rest of your team is going to be a good play there. The inkjets that we see here are generally more solo plays where you're not trying to capitalize on your teammate's aggression with the inkjet. You want to be using the inkjet to help a teammate get a pick or to let your teammate help you get a pick. Trying to inkjet someone who's like in their own ink and is going to be able to move anywhere they want to, especially when you're outnumbered and, you know, there are teammates of theirs that might help out that you haven't seen yet, that's a lower percentage play. But popping the inkjet when you have an advantage and now you really need to get some aggression going to force people back, that's when inkjet's really going to be as successful as it is. Do you have any questions for me?
Trying to think. I mean, you covered a lot. Like, there's a lot of small things that I obviously could have improved. Just don't know if I can come up with a question fast enough.
Okay. If you know, come up with it later, feel free to just DM me, and I'm always happy to, you know, answer there. And I know you've already done that, so I know you're comfortable with that.
All right.
So, yeah. Thank you so much for giving us footage to review. I'm going to move on to LilyPad's VOD review now.
Cool. I might watch a little bit of that.
Sounds good. All right.
All right. See ya.
See ya. All right. So Lily, remember, is not here to watch this with us, unfortunately. but I'm checking through chat really quickly just to see if there were any questions super recently. And if like Devi wanted to hop in chat or something to just be keeping an eye on, like if somebody does ask a question, if they want to let me know, or Chibi or whoever else wants to do that, totally fine either way. But I'm going to get started with LilyPad here. So, first of all, there is going to be some strong language in this VOD review. Over the comms, there were, you know, some curse words being used and some things being said. So I want to make that clear, you know, to be ready for that. I could mute it, and I'm deliberately choosing not to mute it because I want to address mindset to an extent with what I am hearing come over the comms and the way that we're communicating with our teammates. Because I think there are some important things to talk about there. It will require us, you know, wading through some maybe uncomfortable things to hear, but I think it is valuable for us to talk about anyway. So, let's get started. Hooray, swear language. Sure.
Boost right now.
All right. So that sigh already sounds a little bit peeved, but I'm going to move on from there.
Squiffy.
They don't have a slasher anymore.
The Swiffer's got ninja, by the way.
I like that I'm hearing, I think this is Cactus calling out the gear that the other team is using. That's something that, you know, when you're flicking your map open, you want to be checking.
Ninja, by the way.
But having your teammates do that for you, you know, frees you up to be looking more at enemy positions. So, yes, Squiffer with Ninja Squid. That's a little strange, but not the most unexpected thing. I've seen weirder.
Oh, I'm scared of Squiffers.
Oh, I'm on K-Shot.
I'm like, Swiffer is like...
Okay, so we've made ourselves known around the top right here. Remember, we're a CDS. Now, this map sucks. This map mode sucks. You know, Splat Zones Wahoo is acceptable. You see it in competitive play, but as soon as you take the bridge out of this map, it is such a nasty bottleneck in mid. And I've talked about this in one of the map mode of the day videos. I believe it was on Wahoo Zones. The center of the stage, it's just too difficult to move into it. You have to move across unpaintable turf, or you have to move from this really visible low ground on either side. There isn't a great way to do it a lot of the time. So it tends to be, especially in tower control, it tends to be a stalemate until someone gets through first checkpoint. The neutral game here is just really difficult to play well. Generally, the approaches that I see teams taking are either you use a super long-ranged weapon and wait for them to feed into you, or you use a super hard engage, immediate blow you up weapon, like a carbon deco or a brush or a tri-slosher or something, to just take the hard flank and face tank damage and fight you head on because they trust they splat faster than you. Those are the two kinds of things that I tend to see people doing here. But as a CDS, you know, I could say this isn't a phenomenal position to be in, because as soon as someone gets up this wall, they have cover to approach you before they're in your range. And as soon as you kite back, you put yourself behind cover so that you still can't hit them. I could say that I don't like that, but I don't know where else on the map you want to go either. I guess maybe you play the glass so that somebody's forced to funnel into your sight line and you're still able to play on the glass because you're able to roll and do jump tet backwards. I guess that's a plan. And then if you're on the glass, someone flanking you from the right, you can retreat to ledge or something. Maybe that's the idea. That's the best that I can kind of theory craft off the top of my head here. But being up over here, as soon as like the K-shot gets on top of you from the right side, you're in some trouble. I don't hate you just dropping down here and trying to get out of that position, especially since you're getting missiles away from your teammate.
Use chargers.
Oh, that bomb got me. Oh, I traded. Junior's down.
Bear in mind that as you ran over here with the missiles, somebody on the other team was seeing you. And if they're on callouts, they're saying, you know, maybe that somebody's moving right or that two are moving right.
Maybe, let's go.
Nice.
Their
Go
right
left.
side, your left side.
Left glass.
You're by
Okay,
yourself.
so we hear a call left glass.
Oh, I'm dead.
You fire some shots here and someone throws a bomb. I wouldn't hate the idea of you maybe trying to take ledge here and, you know, worst case scenario, oh, there's someone here. You just roll backwards off the ledge and you're back into court where you were
Dead. I
before.
was just calling it out.
And they have to chase
Okay.
you. But firing those shots ahead of time makes it so that somebody's like, oh, shoot, there's someone over here. There's someone about to try and push mid. I'm going to try and deny this. So maybe the idea instead is just to walk over the glass right away and then roll into position and fire some shots in the scary places where they can actually hit you from.
Watch out for inkjet.
I like the movement to get away from the inkjet. Now at this point, players are starting to push you. You get into a good position here against this K-shot. They're out of range, and so you should be able to win this fight from here. So let's see what happens.
Got inkjet.
So the problem was you threw a bomb ahead of time, and now you're out of ink. The bomb, it's not a bad idea, but also I don't know what benefit you're going to get out of it immediately. So maybe the idea is just to preserve the ink, but yeah, once you're down here and you're out of ink, what I would be doing is like, as soon as the K-shot is out of range, I just submerge. You're getting your ink back, and they don't know that you're out of ink necessarily. And what you can also be doing is starting to stealth swim, like I was talking about with Mr. Malix earlier, where you just move without creating ripples so that this player thinks you're right here, and if they try to rush you, they're going to shoot right here, and then maybe you're actually right here, and you roll this way, and their aim is way off. But we want to be collecting ink before we get into this fight, because as soon as you move forward, now they're in range. You want enough ink that you can keep doing jump tech. You want enough ink that you can keep kiting them and keeping them at a range where they actually cannot hit you. Because if you use this really wimpy gun from inside their range, they splat you faster every time.
Traded carousel.
Where?
No, I got him. They're fine.
So that was definitely a very winnable fight. When you called like I need help here, I was actually surprised because I think that 1v1 is solidly enough in your favor that you don't even necessarily need to call for help as long as you know hit your shots as soon as you're able to start firing again.
Oh, Swift got me. The armor.
Okay, so your team is a little bit staggered right now. You're effectively in a 2v4 until you arrive on the scene, and they've just popped armor. This is not a fight your team wants, and I would be calling back up, back up, back up, they popped armor. I don't want Chibi getting into this fight. I don't want Cactus or whoever... Was it Cactus who was back there? No, I don't want my Explo getting rushed on the left-hand side because they're alone here. Like, as soon as you pop that armor, I'm like, back up, they've got armor. Because I know that we've still got one who's spawning in from behind us that won't be able to join this. So Chibi loses this engagement. It's a 1v1. They've got armor. They've got a lot of paint support coming out. They have a couple of specials. That's a fight that I expect this team to lose. Maybe Chibi mechanically outplays because Chibi's a good player, but you don't want to have to count on being a good player. You want to rig the game, like I say in that TikTok I made, and also in the S Plus video. You want to take your advantages when you have them. So when they have an advantage, you tell your teammates, back up, eat the pressure. What you'll see, especially top JP teams do, is the other team will pop specials, and the Japanese players immediately run the heck in the opposite direction. They just get out of there. They do not want to be anywhere near their opponent's weapon range when those specials are landing, and they give up a whole ton of space, because if they're able to do that, now the opponents have blown a bunch of specials and gotten nothing out of them except a little bit of space. And now these players who still have held their specials or waited for numbers advantage or whatever other advantages that they can earn by staying alive here, they now have the advantage. The other team that blew their specials and wasted them has probably lost the fight at this point. The tower is still in mid. You don't have to be pushing forward and applying pressure right now at the moment where that pressure is most likely going to be met by overwhelming force. Right now, you want to be waiting for your team to be back at full power before you engage again. Because at this point, you coming in and helping this fight is very likely to lead to you staggering in. You still don't know exactly where this other player is. You're probably now spotting them visually as a splash in the corner of your screen here, but you're also missiled. You're 2 players down. They have basically no disadvantages, and you have no information even on how this fight went. You don't know if this player is healed, and honestly, by the time you're going to get line of sight on them, they probably will have healed. I don't know if Chibi hit any shots here. Maybe they stripped the armor off. Maybe they didn't even do that successfully. But notice that when you get up this wall, your weapon does not have a range advantage over the other player. Like, the K-shot can hit you anywhere that you can hit it. You're not playing to your weapon's range advantage because you're putting yourself too close to this player. If this is a K-shot, like, the most that I'm doing as I approach this fight is realizing, okay, I'm out of this fight, basically. The only way I can join it is if Chibi backs up and runs them into my line of sight. But me getting up over the wall is going to be too slow. I'm going to get there once the fight is already decided. And either Chibi won that fight and I'm good, I didn't need to be there in the first place, or Chibi loses that fight and I get over the wall and now I'm at 0 advantage against whatever weapon just beat Chibi. Maybe you're able to trade back in time, but with a weapon that splats this slowly, I wouldn't even count on that. So the most health that I would probably try to give Chibi here is to paint up over the top and give them room to move. And maybe you get some fall-off shots or something, and that helps that fight. But as soon as this player threatens to get in range, again, you need to be keeping your range. You need to be backing up. You need to be using jump tech and keeping yourself at that maximum range that's optimal to take this fight from. Especially since you're missiled, especially since you're spotted out, and they may well know your exact location as a result of that. Because this is a losing fight now.
Shit.
So Chibi goes down, and they are able to be in their own ink for a significant amount of time. They probably have healed up a good amount there. This player did have armor, so 3 shots, you should not expect to be able to splat them. And you can also gauge that by seeing when they pop out of the ink, you can see like how much ink is on them. If they look like they're on your team, they're so purple, then yeah, you only need a few shots. But right now, they look pretty clean. I have not seen a splash of purple at all in this entire animation here. So I know that this player is undamaged right now. And I want to caution you when you say this.
Okay, now they are.
Not dummy.
Say...
How are they not weak at all?
How are they not weak at all? That statement right there can come across as an accusation against Chibi. That can come across as being frustrated that in the fight that Chibi lost, Chibi was not able to get a significant number of shots on the opponent. Now, even that might not be a valid criticism just because the other player might have healed all of the damage that they took in that time. But also remember that this was a 1v1 that Chibi probably didn't see coming, that they had armor on, and even if this is a fight that Chibi 100% should have won, stressing that in the middle of the match is only going to hurt morale and is not going to make Chibi play any better. So this statement is at best neutral and taking up space on the comms without providing any useful information. At worst, it's tilting your teammate and possibly yourself in saying something like that. So I would definitely caution you against any kind of statement like that, just because that can only do bad things and is not really benefiting your team to hear, especially since you've already lost the fight. Your team knows they lost a fight. What we should be doing next instead is recognizing, okay, we just lost a fight. How do we come back from this? Well, the way we come back from this is by painting up, getting specials, and pushing back in. You probably still stand a chance of stopping them from getting first checkpoint if you can regroup and rally fast enough. So that's what you need to be talking about with your teammates. Not, oh, why did that fight go badly? It's, what do we do next? How do we get back from the situation that we now find ourselves in? We cannot change the past. but we can have an impact on what happens in the future. So let's keep our focus on that instead of on what happened just now that caused us to lose this. You can always look back later and look at little mechanical things like that and think, how could that have gone better? And it's never a bad thing necessarily to think, oh, I could have played that better and here's how every now and then, because the more you think that, the more likely you are to remember it for the next time. But saying that out loud, probably not going to do anything good for you.
Oh, okay, now they are.
Oh, I'm alone.
They had armor.
So
I'm jumping out.
Cactus comes to clean up this fight. But again, now Cactus is in a 1v3. You know, the fact that they got the trade back isn't helping. What Cactus needs to be doing in order for us to prevent the first checkpoint from going down is getting himself to safety and farming for special so that he can booyah the tower and help you guys get in. He needs to save his special charge right now because when you guys get back, you're going to have special slower than the other team is. I guess the K-Shot already used their missiles, but these two specials are going to be coming online pretty soon. So you need specials to counteract those if you're going to stop their momentum. And so Cactus trading this player back, that's still not giving you a numbers advantage, and he's still going to have to jump back to spawn afterward anyway. I would almost rather him just keep this player alive than trade
thank
back.
God.
So they just barely get out of there.
One in elbow.
So again, we want to be painting up and getting special. So all of that area in front of you, paint that stuff. At this point, you're coming back slowly enough. I don't see you guys defending first checkpoint in time. So the call should be on the comms, give up first check, defend it second. As much as I hate to give up first check on this map, because first check is so important here, there's just no way that you guys are stopping it at this point. So get specials and be ready so that once it hits second check, you guys can mess them up.
Left.
So that means you're getting in position so that you are immediately ready to dive on second check. That means you're getting specials so that as soon as the fight breaks out, you are already, you know, showing overwhelming force.
Thing jetting.
Yes, it's kind of important to keep this guy from flanking around, but you're not painting a lot in the meantime. You're not gaining a lot of control or vision or information right now. I would want to see you doing more than just like focusing on that one thing. Okay, they pop armor here. One thing you could have done is been spending some time just dual reticle painting over here. The only thing that's going to hit you is like someone throwing a bomb up over the ledge or something. I doubt that the Nautilus is going to like fall off you from if you're like midway past the platform and you're painting this up. And this prevents a flank route up your steps. Right now, they're only at first check. So them controlling right side, this is a little bit premature of them to push. If they do push here, all you have to do is rush tower, and tower's undefended. So you don't have to worry as much about right as you are right now.
Thing jetting.
In fact, rotating over here to right side, I think is putting you a lot more out of play than it has to. Also, when the missiles go off,
I'm gonna bring a tower.
I talked about this on a previous VOD review, and it's a little bit more subtle here, but remember that if you run forward after you are missiled, the missiles cut off your own escape route. If you move forward, let the missiles start landing where you are further forward and then back up, you don't give up any more space, but now your escape route is now not cut off anymore. So right now, I would swim just the tiniest bit further forward before, you know, this player has had a chance to call out where you are and see you and stuff, to get the missiles to land in front of you, and then back up so that the missiles do not, as they do here, cut your escape off from the side
Not
here.
them solo missile.
Now, there is
Tower.
where does this bomb come from?
Got him. Not them.
What? Where did that
What about
bomb come
tower?
from?
Got him.
Oh, there it is. It lands right as the missile lands, and so it's like visually camouflaged with the missile. I don't blame you for missing that at all.
Not
That-
them solo missile.
That really surprised me. Okay, anyway.
Got him. Not them solo missile. Hit.
What your teammate is saying here is another instance of, I think, talking about the play that just happened in a way that's not especially helpful for what the team is doing going forward. Maybe if they're calling, okay, they're solo missiling me, so I'm going to be out of play. That is information that your team can maybe use, and if that were the reason that was being called out, then sure. I don't think that's what they're trying to say. I think they're kind of trying to make an excuse for why they went down here. They're saying, like, oh my god, they're all pressuring me right now. They're all rushing me. They're like, I can't do anything, you know. They're trying to excuse themselves for not being able to make the play they wanted to there. And, you know, their weapon is difficult to deal with a solo missile for. Like, you can't paint for yourself super well on that weapon super quickly. So it's not a bad choice on the enemy team to solo missile them. But I don't think what they're saying is especially helpful. It's kind of coming across more like complaining than anything else. So because we went right, we ended up, you know, in kind of an engagement that we didn't have to be in. What we could have done instead was just farm for special, and instead of being in the way of the enemy team where they were clearly moving to, what we could have done was just waited until we had rain, popped that over second checkpoint, and then started moving. Because then these players couldn't have been shooting missiles and throwing suction bombs on the spots you wanted to stand. They would have to be backing up away from the rain. And that's a better way to move in on the tower at that point.
Do that all you want. I'm gonna get Swift.
That's Swift.
Nice, good shit. Oh,
All right.
me.
So we get a pick there that relieves a lot of pressure, and I like that I'm hearing, you know, he says, good shit. You know, curse words notwithstanding, I love that we're congratulating our teammates on a good play. That's something that's great for morale.
Okay, shots on elbow.
Hammered.
So we know that the K-shot's elbow. We know that armor has just gone off for the enemy team, which means they're still at an advantage for the most part here. Although you guys do a really good job of soloing someone out here. You should expect also that they're going to have follow-up for that.
One more on me.
This is a really risky fight right here. So
Upstairs. On cactus.
I like this fight. As soon as you see this player, you need to not be in their range. Because again, this player splats faster than you. And your advantage over them is not like shooting them in a 1v1 aim contest, especially when they've got armor. Your advantage over them is that you can make them miss you. And you need to be making them miss you a lot sooner and not just trying to engage them with double reticle mode. Double reticle mode is going to cause you to miss a lot more shots because the shots are going back and forth. You need to have your aim perfectly centered to be able to hit both of those shots, and that's very unlikely to happen in a fast situation like this. You hit one shot, I think, during all of that time here, and they almost get their aim on in time to hit you. You're basically only saved by Chibi coming in from the side here.
Just Swiffer and not.
If you roll, though, you're throwing off their aim, and during the time that you're spending rolling, you can focus on getting your reticle in the right position so that by the time your shots are actually going to come out after the roll, they're already on target. And I think that's a much better look there. Even if you roll so far back that you're out of range of them, well, they're still out in the middle of nowhere, right? They're still out in, like, your court. And so if they then turn their attention to Chibi, now you can push forward and shoot them in the back. But you don't know as soon as they come around that corner that they're not going to be able to just turn on you. You need to get yourself in a position where you can take that fight advantageously before you engage on it.
Not on tower. Tag.
Okay, so you're super close to special right now. I really want you to be farming this special before you go in and, you know, risk getting picked and losing that. Because that special is huge pressure that can help your team either start an offensive push or stop one defensively.
Squiver behind, coming from their flat.
I do not like that everyone's grouped up like this. The chances that the enemy team now knows to look in this direction are pretty darn high. There's very low chance that, like, without everyone saying something, nobody's going to fire a shot. Nobody's going to give themselves away here. So somebody is already looking over here. And if this is like a charger that can reach over here, this is a collat waiting to happen. This is a single bomb and some missiles waiting to get like 2 splats for no good reason. You're standing on top of your Explo. If you draw aggro to the Explo, they don't have a lot of movement options to get out of here, even though you do. There's a lot that can go wrong with everyone grouping like this, and I would be looking instead to have someone either push forward before you get this far up or take a different route entirely. Not that there are that many good routes, to be fair. But maybe at least, like, as you're coming up and recognizing that
Whoever behind.
everyone's converging on this spot, I'm like, oh, my Explor's over here. I'm going to go to the left side. I'm going to go across glass. I'm going to get on the back side of tower and start painting up mid or something and use tower for cover. Like, that would be a little bit safer, I think, than risking being right here. Like, if you don't dodge roll there, that is actually a collat. This Swiffer actually does get 2 for that. And now they pinch you from the left because everyone's in one spot. This spot has been called out. They're converging from multiple angles. If you had covered the middle, then this player wouldn't have been able to get through as quickly, and your teammates would have been able to back you up because you're all standing on top of each other's feet. They get a good pincer movement off, and they win a 2v3 by abusing your positioning.
Oh, Knott's there still.
And the last one ends up going down to that as well.
Not right left.
Be very careful, Cactus. Make sure you...
I like the call to be careful, and what really does help with making someone play careful is telling them to farm for special safely. Tell them just paint for special, just paint for special. Tower has to go a pretty long way, and so by the time the rest of your team comes back in, if Cactus has a Booyah Bomb, they can just stop that push dead and potentially move in on it and get some picks as a result.
You don't jump out
Jumping
at
out.
that time. Oh.
Okay. So Cactus jumps out successfully. Missiles come out, which should tell you they know where your entire team is. So your team is in no position whatsoever to be making an aggressive play. It's just Chibi on the left-hand side right now, and you are splitting off from Chibi, so there should be like no aggressive plays happening here. Shooting over here is a little bit risky because they can see that somebody's like at least looking over here, painting over here. You might see some aggression looking in this direction because you've given yourself away there.
Oh my god. Damn.
Ooh, and 2 players go down around you. What happens here? So
That was missile head, not looking at me, and a Swiffer.
Chibi goes into a fight, which is surprising. Chibi was calling for Cactus to back up there and play extremely safe. So the fact that Chibi is pushing off of the ledge into some kind of aggressive position right here is kind of counter to what they were saying to Cactus and what the game plan would suggest that they were trying to get across there. So that's unfortunate, though. Chibi pushes down, and that's nothing you, Lily, can do anything about. Like, yeah, you could have been there on the left-hand side to make it a 2v4 instead of a 1v4. That's still not a great position. I don't hate you coming around to this side. Although, one thing I will say is that your weapon is actually not the best suited weapon to be taking a position like this. This is more of a Cactus kind of play because the pro right side peaks. Your dualies don't. Oh, I know, actually they do because right. Most dualies don't. Your dualies do, actually. So I take it all back. I've said this in a video upcoming and in a couple of comments, but I want to show you guys something really quick that's really silly and weird about this game. So, oops, that's the wrong thing. So most weapons have right side peek advantage. If they're peeking around a wall to the right side, they have the advantage there because more of their body can be behind cover while they're shooting around the corner. So this is the advantage of right side peek. I can be, halfway behind this wall and shoot over this way, whereas this wall, I have to expose myself completely. So we all know about that because we've talked about that a million times on this channel. But dualies work a little bit differently. For one thing, obviously, as they're in dual reticle mode, they're shooting both sides. So one shot will right side peek and the other side will left side peek, like this. And so that kind of nullifies that advantage for here, except that you're only getting one shot, so you have half the fire rate. It's like really, really slow. But look at really closely at the weapons when I dodge roll. They're on the left side. You left side peek with dualies most of the time. And it's a little bit more subtle because they're a little bit closer to center than they are with main weapons. And it's also a little bit more difficult to set up because you have to dodge roll beforehand. So that's the idea with most dualies. Here's the thing with the dualie squelchers, though. When you dodge roll, you have only one weapon in your hand. The two weapons actually fuse together into the dual squelcher from Splatoon 1. So, because it is a single weapon, you hold it on the right side and you actually right side peek as you're dodge rolling with the CDS. So I take it all back. This is actually, not a bad angle at all for you to be taking, but That's some weird, wacky nonsense with Splatoon mechanics that I don't know why they designed it that way, but they did. So here we are. Okay, so you can kind of right side peek around this corner. Not a bad position for you to be taking at all. You've got this whole ramp behind you that's harder for them to paint that you can retreat on. This isn't a bad position to take. It's a little bit conservative, but right now with your team staggered this badly, conservative positions are not bad to be taking. Now, it could be said to be a problem that the rest of your team is already rolling out on left while you're over here unable to help them, because that's artificially worsening the numbers disadvantage. But
Oh my god, down.
okay, it looks like the Inkjet gets at least one pick there, and it might have just directed Chibi before,
They're
and maybe
rushing
that's
up.
what happened. I like that you're retreating behind cover here. Ideally, what you do to take this fight,
my
if you see
God,
it coming
down,
from
down.
further away, is you're already backing up maybe to the back left here where you have more space. And because what happens is if this player pushes in and forces you down the ramp and they have somebody else coming up the right side of the ramp, now you're pinched. But if you come out to the left to retreat from this, there's nobody who can attack you on the left-hand side. So that's why that might be a slight advantage to go to the left instead.
They're rushing up.
But if you're going to take this angle, you need to be retreating a little bit more, because this player, if they just keep chasing you, they're in range of you right now, and they're going to right side peek around this corner. So you need to be putting distance between you and them to be able to use the range advantage and be in a position to win that fight.
You're the only one alive right now, Lily.
I'm not a huge fan of you being up this close to the wall, because again, you getting close to them gives you no advantage over them. I'm especially not a big fan of you coming up over the top of the wall, because this exposes you. It takes away the cover that you have been using to keep yourself safe, and again gives you no advantage over them. The best you're going to do is like rush the tower solo in like a 1v4 situation. Your teammates are all still respawning. Like Chibi is first up after that wipe from earlier. Like, you get nothing out of this. If you're going to do anything from here, it should be jumping away back to spawn, because you're cornered between the players on the tower and this player here. So,
How did you?
and here,
You're the only one alive right now, Lily.
want to listen to the call out.
How did you get me? How do you hit that angle?
How did you get me? How did you get that angle? There is an answer to that question. I don't think that the question is being asked out of an actual interest in knowing. Because I think, like, it's kind of self-explanatory that, like, you're standing up over the top of the ledge so they can shoot and hit your head, and they have an angle that they can take from there. Like, imagine that you're the K-shot in that position and that somebody's up there. You can hit that shot if they just stand up and walk across. Maybe not if they're in squid form. Maybe that's harder. Maybe you have to hit fall off for that. But from that angle, that's definitely something that can be hit. And maybe it surprised you in the moment. But what I'm getting at here is that some of this is frustration. Some of this is not an actual interest in knowing. Some of this is just clouding the comms with you feeling negatively. And what, again, needs to be happening is the team needs to be rallying. The team needs to stop this feed stagger loop that has been going on since, mind you, the push started. Like, this fight went bad when they had like 91 left. So you can see this whole time that we haven't been getting an advantage, we haven't been kind of slowing down, getting specials, getting a good push back in. We've just kind of been filtering in one by one and dying. No calls have been made to lead the team in the direction of getting specials and setting up a push that's actually likely to kind of be successful as you push back in. Like, you got to be thinking, what is the Explo looking at so that I can take a position there and they can support me? When is the Booyah coming out so that I can push in with that and take advantage of the disruption of the enemy team that's going to happen there? When should I be popping rains so that I can most delay the tower or force players out of position? Like, you can't even be asking those questions because players are just going down before the specials are getting charged. And the way to stop that is, again, we need to call out, play safe, get specials. Do not go in yet. Do not engage until you have the advantage back. And the only advantage that you're going to be able to get back right now, until you get picks, is getting specials and having special advantage. So we should not be taking fights. We should not be going anywhere near the place where we can take fights. We should not be trying to engage the enemy team in any way until we have a fight that is rigged in our favor, until we have some players isolated that we can spot out, until we've created a paint advantage for ourselves that we can move in with, until a booyah bomb has gone off that has displaced them from the positions that they were in that were strong. You know, there's so many different things that we could be doing, but the one thing we need to not do is engage the enemy team while we're at a disadvantage.
Got Swiffer. Let's go.
Okay,
We again here I can kind of understand a little better,
Got Swiffer.
because from this position it is hard for you to roll and not fall off of the ledge you're on. So I understand you not going for the roll once you've positioned here, but you do have a tendency in a lot more situations than I would expect to take fights in dual reticle mode, which again is going to limit the number of shots you're going to hit and drastically slow your kill time, without changing anything about your range advantage or really even your ability to move well. I would want to, like, if I spot this player early, roll kind of sideways along this ramp here. So, like, tilt my camera maybe a little bit more to the right.
Got Swiffer.
A little bit more to the right so that I can roll perfectly horizontally and be... Not only would I be in dodge roll, so I have the single reticle fire on this angle, I would also be closer to this piece of cover and be right side peeking it, which would keep me safe from the shots that end up killing me from the knot. And that would already put me in the mindset of being able to roll away from the knot shots if they do still end up coming in from someplace else.
okay,
Nice.
Roll comes out a little bit slow there, but also part of it is that we could have played from behind cover a little bit more if we had just rolled behind the cover there and been right on top of it.
Nice.
I don't think the knot hits you then.
I'm taking tower.
So teammates are finally able to clean up.
Don't write it. You don't have to write
They've
it.
gotten all the way to 14 on this push, but
Sign up.
we've done a good job and we're going to be able to get map control again. So now we need to take advantage of the chance we have to get paint into mid. There is the bridge, so you're going to be able to use that for a short time. So now I would be trying to aggressively position into mid and see what I can get going here so that I can, you know, start getting control over the enemy glass with my range, or so that I can start threatening players on snipe over here by throwing bombs over or something like that. Like, establish a foothold here now while you can.
Swiffer's so scary. Leave me alone. You bastard.
So why is Squiffer so scary? Leave me alone. You know, you guys are having fun probably, but those kinds of callouts can distract from what needs to be happening. Like, if somebody all of a sudden is like, flank, 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 in the middle of all that, it might get clouded over by us saying something about the Squiffer. So if this is, you know, a real attempt to play competitively and strongly, make sure to be, you know, cutting out conversation like that isn't really helping your teammates.
I hate Swiffer.
Got K-shot.
Nice. Right now, you know that there were players on the right and that they haven't been splatted yet. Yes, you know, paint this up a little bit, but I would definitely be checking over to my right to look like over the ledge to see if anyone's maybe over on that side that would threaten me at the moment.
Well, why didn't you die to that?
Like right now, okay, now you see the Squiffer is, you know, down and they were under pressure earlier, but maybe the knot's watching me, right? As I expose myself on the right and have no peripheral vision over there.
Not on
If one of us can get on tower.
Well, why didn't you die to that?
I do like that we are taking the opportunity to paint up court. I think we could be doing that a lot more thoroughly. If you are going to paint court, then paint the heck out of court. You know, get your special, but also make it a place that your opponents cannot tactically use. Because right now, I'll back up a second.
Well, why didn't you die to that?
The way that we paint this, there's still this big patch in the middle. There's still all this stuff here that's not getting painted. You probably would have spotted another player on the left here if you kept painting, by the way, but that's neither here nor there. The big thing is, like, you want your team to be able to use this, you know? If you can't engage and be helpful as a skirmisher or a fighting weapon right now, then be helpful as a support. Paint up so that maybe then you can actually move up and you can take space knowing that you have escape routes, knowing that you have wide open space. Your happy place is going to be wide open space where you can use your range against frontline weapons and be able to back up. If you're able to drop into court and safely take fights and not be in like a 1v3 over here, that's where you want to be. And so that's the area you want to get control of, so that maybe Chibi can push in from left and then you can pinch from right and have some pretty good fights underneath the cover of this ledge where the Squiffer or whatever can't hit you.
Junior's on left.
I'm hitting on
It's like being right here. How does this help you? You don't win any fights against someone who pushes up here because they're in range before, you know, you were able to get shots on them. Your weapon depends on being able to hit them before they can hit you. So we need to put ourselves in a position where you have sight lines.
Jetting.
And that's not where we're at right now. Think about it like a mini backliner. Like a backliner needs to position in a place where they're going to have sight lines. You're taking away your sight lines. You know, you're playing behind cover as an E leader. In a, you know, that's a more extreme example, obviously, but.
Jimmy.
I got him.
So I think here.
I got him.
Okay, yeah, you get some shots, and then you fail to recognize that them both backing up and moving higher is going to put them out of range of you. So you think that your shots can still hit from here, and you're trying to clean it up, but remember that the inkjet can direct you and just kill you instantly, and you need like 4 shots in dual reticle mode for that to happen. Very unlikely for you to be able to make that work. I'm more scared about you getting directed. I would just take cover because you are winning as long as you stay alive and are able to stay on tower. It doesn't matter that you like necessarily get that pick because it's not threatening you or the tower push from where it's at.
2 down, 2 down.
One's elbow, I'm down a bomb.
Squiffer's
So-
watching me.
Nice, nice, nice.
Let's
2 down,
go.
2 down.
I like that you're calling Squiffer's watching me on right, but you can probably cut down number of syllables and just say Squiffer right if you need that dealt with quickly. And if you don't need it dealt with quickly, consider that maybe you're going to cloud the comms, make it more difficult for your teammates to hear what's important by saying something over them.
2 down.
One's elbow, I'm down a bomb. Three still elbow.
Okay.
Elbow.
So I'm hearing a lot of calls to elbow, and we're not checking that. That's someplace where they could be flanking you from. So yes, like the Squiffer is important. You need to keep an eye on that, but they're out of range of you right now. Like they actually cannot hit you from that position, and they're already being pressured by Cactus. So at least a quick glance over to the left to make sure they're not like on you right now would be
Got Squiff.
a good
Oh,
idea.
I got
And hey, here they are.
Bob's back K-shot.
Look at that. It's almost like I was predicting that you would get flanked, and then you did. So yeah, glance over there. Make sure that, you know, if somebody's repeating a call like that, that probably means there's danger there. And make sure you know what's coming at you, even if you're going to be focusing on something else for the majority of the time. Realize also that, you know, you're not able to do that much against this Squiffer. You're out of range. They're out of range. They're not going to do anything until they move closer to you. So you need to be keeping an eye on them enough that they don't move closer to you. But
Three still elbow.
you have the time to focus on something else for a second.
They're pushing up, they're pushing up.
Got Squiff.
From here, especially with this bomb going off, I realize I don't have an escape route to my left or behind me anymore. So good job. You're backing up. I would like already be dodging away though, because again, the warning was that something was coming from left, and I don't have any paint over here. So I'd probably want to dodge roll backwards, and you know, as soon as I see that there's a player there, start jump teching.
K-shot got me too.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, they shredded me.
K-shot.
K-shot got me too.
Man,
Unfortunate.
that is really unfortunate.
Yeah, they shredded me.
So,
Got Squiff.
okay, so 1-for-1 trade goes down. Oh, there's a jump coming in. So this is just a 1v1 you're having, and then your Explo is in a 2v1 someplace else.
K-shot got me too.
Unfortunate.
Or no, your Cactus is in a 2v1 or something over there.
Yeah, they shredded me.
Whatever is happening, you're at a numbers disadvantage at that time. So
Probably gonna give this one as my VOD review, and it's going to hurt
hi, Lily.
because I am playing so fucking bad. I have no idea what I'm doing.
So this is this sort of thing. It's like if this were a tournament, I would not like this. You know, I'm playing really bad. Right now, we have 1 minute and 8 seconds left to win this game, and we want to be focusing on that. But I do like the self-reflection, feeling like I don't feel like I have answers to what's happening right now, and therefore this is when I hear what I want to hear more about. So I can definitely respect that. But also remember that what you say has an impact on your team's mood. So them hearing, oh, I'm playing so bad right now, that might not, you know, be boosting their confidence. So keep that in mind.
Well, if you do submit it, hi Jim, hi for the VOD.
Hi, Cactus.
Review.
Got one.
Spider shot got
They
me.
tend to fake because they don't like
Spider
speed.
shot's on plat.
Pushing up on left. K
And then
shot.
there are some other things that they're trying to say to me on the comms right now that I don't really pick up super well because they're clouded by, you know, people actually trying to make call-outs and play the game.
Hi Jim, hi for the VOD.
You actually
review.
end up in an advantage
Spider
state here. You've got 2 down,
They don't like speed.
Spider shot's on plat.
but
Pushing up on left. K shot.
I think players are not paying full attention to what the call-outs are because they're busy talking to me right now, which I think is actually, you know, obviously, yeah, okay, haha, this is a special case where they're on the VOD review, but is it a special case really? Is there not something else that they would have talked about that they would have been distracted by in a, you know, a situation where, you know, it's this end game and they need to be focused on winning the game? With call-outs, you know, it's nice to keep it light. It's nice to keep the mood up, you know, keep morale up, but also recognize when it's serious mode that you need to keep the call-outs focused on the game so that you're not detracting from information that's important to pay attention to. Right now, there is no game plan for this fight.
Oh, wait.
Right now, half the players probably don't
Jim's
even know
gonna
that they're being
make a
flanked
joke.
by a K-shot.
I don't know if Jim knows it's a joke.
Well, Jim would
Fucking
now.
bomb.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah,
kind of
they're
joke
bad.
there. I know it's a joke. I don't know what you said.
Put forward against me. At least respect me a little bit.
Right glass. Junior not.
So this is a really ideal situation for you to be fighting the K-shot. This is the place where you can keep your range
Got one.
and keep them from pushing you. Now the problem is you cut off your sight line here. You want to back up but keep them in your sight line. Because you back up around the wall, you just give them a free way out of the fight.
Weak.
Not weak on tower.
I like that you are recognizing that you don't want to push forward here and
There's a
waiting
jump on
until
tower.
you spot that they are actually down over the edge before you do that. I want you calling when you use specials. Couple reasons for that. One of them is so that your teammates know to follow up on it, so that they know, like, oh, we've used a special, we're going now. Another thing is I want you to call your specials in advance, so that if, for example, someone can be like, wait, no, I'm down, save it. Because right now you want to be saving it. You do not want to just be popping this right now while you're at a disadvantage. You want to save it for when you stand a better chance of actually stopping the tower. Build up your advantages before you use them. Because right now, one rain is not going to make the difference between you being able to win a 3v4 against another team that has missiles.
Right in the
So it's kind of wasted.
Our court.
In fact, now it's a
Glass.
2v4 effectively because another teammate went down.
Our court.
Now this is a little unfortunate because
glass.
you don't know that the Squiffer's up here. But in this situation, back up to where you're going to have a more consistent, reliable escape route. And that escape route is going to be towards your steps, not towards your
They're
plat.
only Div 5.
The thing is, like, plat here, you have no reason to believe that your team has control of plat. The 2 players that were just on left have both gone down, and the enemy team is pushing the tower right now. If there was a threat from left, then they would have, you know, focused more on that. So, yeah, you can retreat to left a little bit, but you also have only so far you can go in that direction. So I would probably have tried to take this to the steps. And just backed up and been behind walls, been behind cover, been over the top of
They're
ledges.
only Div 5.
It's just.
They're only Div 5 comment. So this is you guys deciding, well, this is a battle that I guess we, you know, shouldn't have won because of our division or in Ludi or something like that. Like, you're already kind of thinking, I don't want to say making excuses, but you're already deciding why the battle is lost. You have not lost the game yet. 9 seconds is a long time in Splatoon terms. You can, in theory, put together a push here, put together a play that lets you rush the tower and end the game, and prevent the game from ending, I should say. Now, you would have a much better chance if you had stayed alive, not staggered, and built specials. Then you absolutely have a chance of taking this fight and winning it, and, you know, the odds are relatively, you know, even for you guys to be able to do that. Would you be able to push into their court after that and, you know, push through first check, etc.? I mean, always give yourself a chance for it to happen. It's not likely, but it's possible. But right now, you guys have already decided that the game is lost. It ain't over until Judd waves his flags.
I just
I don't feel much about that. Kesha got me.
Someone goes down over there. Right now, you need someone on tower in 5 seconds. Beeline tower. Do not worry about anything else. The game ends. The win condition is them having control of the tower the rest of this time. If you're maybe able to paint for blue, maybe they get to the tower faster. If you're maybe able to clear someone away from tower, maybe blue is able to get to the tower in time. Maybe you get to the tower faster than blue does. But you've got to get over there and play to the win condition and not be giving up at this moment in time. So here's where we end up. Major mechanical thing was playing your weapon's range. Look for the open sight lines against the short range weapons, because otherwise they are able to use cover to close distance with you, and when they close distance with your weapon, they have a faster kill time, so they win that every single time. Also avoid clumping up on your teammates so that your opponents have to look in multiple directions instead of accidentally getting a pick on one of you when they're aiming at another, or getting collats or something like that. And then in terms of mindset, always be thinking, what do we need to do in future to win this game? What do we do next? What is the next step? Don't be thinking about what just happened. Put that out of your mind. The past is the past. You cannot change it, but what you can change is the future. That's some crappy, you know, motivational tweet right there. If y'all want to steal that one, you know, you can. You don't need to give credit to me. I'd honestly rather not have it. It's kind of cringe, but it is good advice for a Splatoon match. You cannot control what happened in the past, so focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can do next. And what you can do next is stop yourself from staggering in, paint up from safe places to get special, get with the rest of your team, you know, let them know the expectation that you are going to push with specials and that you want to pair your special with something else to get back in, and then say go when it's time to pop both of those specials and rush the enemy team down. You know, create sort of a setup, and then, you know, pull the trigger at some point in time and then execute the plan all at once so that you sweep in like a wave instead of trickling in drop by drop for them to be able to address. Because the stagger was really the biggest problem of this game. You guys staggered in for a push from 91 to 14 without ever having any kind of advantage to be able to take a fight with, and ended up in fights anyway. That was where this all went wrong, and the way to avoid that is to play more disciplined in terms of what positions you take, and to paint play more passively until it's time to go on the aggressive. So, thank you to Lily for submitting that footage. I apologize if it was a little uncomfortable at times to, you know, hear the mindset talked about like that, but it is an important part of the game, and I think it is something that is worth addressing and that I want other people to be thinking about as well. Mindset is more important than any mechanic that you could train, than any game knowledge you could have, because if you have the right mindset, you will learn faster and you will play better regardless of your skill level. You will be able to pick up the other stuff if your mindset is healthy. If your mindset is not healthy, you block yourself from learning. And you will see that, like, players stagnate the most when they start getting frustrated. They might think, like, I'm getting frustrated because I'm stagnated. It's the other way around a lot of the time. Something irks them, something irritates them, and instead of getting their head back under control and getting back into learning mode, they let themselves stay in tilt and end up, you know, practicing a lot of bad habits. So one tip that I will leave you with after that from Prochara is, if you find yourself tilting, stop playing the video game. Just take a break if you possibly can. If you're in a tournament, okay, play out that set for sure, but get up and take a walk, get a drink, like go outside and touch grass for 2 minutes and then come back inside. You know, give yourself some perspective on the situation that you're in by removing yourself from the context that you're in currently, so that you can get yourself the best chance of spotting where maybe your mindset went bad. And his advice specifically, to go closer to a direct quote, was, if you lose 3 games in a row, stop playing for a second and see if you are tilting. If things are going wrong, if you have a couple games in a row where you've got really low KA or you're feeling bad, that is when you want to start assessing your mindset first, because your mindset sneaks up on you. It's hard to spot when you start to tilt. It's much easier for everybody else in the room to spot when you're tilting than it is for you. And as teammates, it can be a good kind of tough love thing to call your teammate out for tilting. To just be like, let's watch the mindset, let's watch the attitude. Let's watch the attitude might come across a little passive aggressive, but you know, maybe let's stay positive. That can be a great thing to kind of make your teammate aware, oh shoot, I think I might be tilting. It's a very brave thing to say, and it's usually something that you're only going to hear among people who are very comfortable with each other. But that can be a very powerful thing to help keep team morale on point. And I've had times where my teammates have called me out on something like that, and I've immediately, like in the course of like the next 20 seconds, completely readjusted my mindset and been back on track and had a much more productive practice because of it. So something to think about there. So all of that long-winded stuff being said, thank you so much, Lily, for being willing to submit your footage. Thank you for, you know, being willing to have us talk about what you were doing wrong. I appreciate the maturity to say, I'm going to send this in because I don't have answers. Some people will send me footage because they're trying to show off to me, because they want to look good in front of everybody. And you sent me something that you yourself admitted that you didn't think was going well. So I really do appreciate your willingness to do that, the bravery, the courage that takes. And I hope that this has not made you feel uncomfortable to hear it discussed this candidly in front of people. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That is going to do it for us at Squid School today. I'm going to put in a link really quick. This is where you can find us on other platforms. So we have a YouTube and a Twitch, of course. There is also a Patreon, which is... there is a problem with the link. I might have gotten it wrong. Sorry, 1 second. I need to really quickly check what that is. And to do that, I'm going to switch away from my view. Sorry about that. We'll have it for you in just a minute. It is... I don't think I got anything wrong there, but we're going to copy it from here, and hopefully it works then. That's exactly the same. Oh, no, it is linktree.ee. Okay, I did get it wrong. So that has my Patreon, where you can support me so that I can keep getting content out here more consistently, especially on YouTube. Really support that. There's my Twitter. And you've also got the Discord server, which is where you can request a VOD review like this one. All you got to do is get into the Squid School Discord server and DM me, and we can set up a date and time for us to be able to do a VOD review just like these. That's all I've got. Thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you next week on Tuesday. We'll also probably see you, I think tomorrow I'm going to record some more for the Weapon to X series, so look forward to that. I need to check the, actually I can check that right now. I'm going to check the rotations, because I need it to be specifically Rainmaker and Splat zones in a row with each other. So I want to go and see when that's going to happen. And there's one at 9 a.m. Central. I'm probably not going to go for that one. I'm going to hope for what... but then otherwise it's going to be a lot later. I might end up having to do it relatively early in the day, because that's the only Splat zone followed by Rainmaker. maybe if there's one from like 7 to 11 p.m. Central, I can hit that one. It's not looking good for that right now. So maybe I'll do 2 separate streams. Maybe I'll do like the 2 Rainmaker rotations at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Central. Maybe I'll do something like that. I don't know. Get you a little bit of extra arrow spray in, and we'll definitely get up pretty far over the course of those 2. So that should be good content then. Anyway, that is going to be it. Thank you, everybody, and have a good one.